Okay. Dirk, thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
So let's start off with a simple question. What makes a good game? What makes a good video game?
So,
Because you play them all, right?
so yeah, I guess. Well, I simple. I guess that would depend.
On.
So, what makes a good game? I guess like so. Well, the people have to enjoy it for some. Okay,
Okay, I'm asking you. What is,
so asterisk.
Okay.
People have to enjoy it. Why the asterisks exists there? Because there are there are some games that are meant to be extremely negative, frustrating experience.
Oh, yeah?
But like some people enjoy playing those games as well. Like so there's a game called, have you heard of Pathologic?
No. What's that about? I don't know if you hate it or you like it.
So there's a YouTuber called H Bomber Guy. He made a video about it. And like the game is extremely frustrating and not a joy to play at all. But like that's where the brilliance of the game is. And then like the story is really esoteric. Like you don't understand what's going on. But
Okay, is it bad because it's kind of just glitchy and doesn't like play well?
oh, no,
or is it because
it plays how it's intended, but like so like there are a few systems in the game. There are, you can find a gun in the game. The shooting is terrible by design.
wait, so what's your character? Is your character a right? Does that character have any experience with firearms?
So in the game you play three different characters, and they're all like in this town trying to solve some type of mystery. I think there's I forget what the core mystery was. Like there's a plague going on, and then like there are people that need food and all this other stuff. And but the the dialogue is obtuse and bad on purpose.
And that's coming from like, you're a writer, so
Yeah, it's like yeah, um, so an easier version of the game to play would reminds me of like We Happy Few, which isn't really a great game either, but kind of a similar premise. But Pathologic's just like it's a frustrating game. Like it's not it's but like there's like it reveals itself in layers, and like all the negative things are what make the game so it's so oppressive and bad that it's good.
pathological.
Pathologic.
Pathologic. I'm gonna write that down. I'm gonna look it up because I want to see what Dirk's about. Because okay, so that's one way. Pathologic. It's on Steam, PC, PlayStation.
So I think Pathologic 2 is on PlayStation. Pathologic should be on Steam.
Okay, that's my preferred way to play games. Is on PC, maybe PS. I don't know. We'll see.
But I don't know. For me, what makes a good game, it's dependent on like the genre. Like there are certain things I look for, like in a good action game, whereas if I'm playing like a visual novel or RPG, there are other criteria that are used to determine if something is good or not.
How does that fit in when it comes to a fighting game?
Huh. So with
Because I know you're very proficient at them. You play several.
okay.
Well, I mean, you're pretty good.
I'm okay, I guess. Like, well, God, I guess to give me one clap on, I just made it back into heaven on Guilty Gear.
On Guilty Gear, you're a little rusty, a little bit off.
PlayStation, yeah. But for me,
Viking,
Ram.
Okay.
I don't know what makes a good fighting game. Like, So I don't know.
I think a lot of it is going to depend on who you play with also. Whether you have a small community either to play online, whether it's a small Discord game or, your actual live buddies around you. Because I remember when you, me, Johnny, Pete, and we would all get together on Friday nights and we'd kind of like decide, okay, what game are we playing tonight? Whether it's Blaze Blue or Street Fighter or BB Tag or, just out of a whole list of games.
And so I do like Street Fighter, but like I haven't. So for myself, like I was one of the like I kind of stuck with Street Fighter 5 even when like I know John and Joanna dropped it like several times and stuff like that. And,
Oh yeah,
like,
Johnny goes through it. He loves it, and then he's mad about it. I'm like, okay. Like during patch and like updates, he's like, Jerry's in the game now. I'm like, cool. And then like 3 weeks later, he's like, yeah, Jerry sucks. I'm like, I don't know what to tell you, bro.
But recently, I have not found myself really going back to it. I think the fighting game I played the most, like for me, right now has been like Guilty Gear Strive, and then
Melty?
no, so I played Strive and really like King of Fighters 15 too, and I was on what's the new one? DNF.
DNF Duel?
When it dropped, but like I haven't really gone back to it a lot. Like Strive is like right now, like Strive is kind of the game for
Just
me.
calling to you, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, for me it's Street Fighter. I try to run away from it, and then I come back. It's like an abusive relationship. Takes all my money, tells me it loves me, and then like I leave to find something better, and then I come running back. It's terrible. I think it's is that Stockholm syndrome.
I don't know, like so like I even really enjoyed I really enjoyed Mortal Kombat 11. I didn't really enjoy 10 or 9, but like I also didn't put a lot of time into either of those. And like I had friends who would play who would play a lot casually, and and like there are a lot of things that I was frustrated about, like block button, chip damage, and all this other stuff. But like I wasn't really putting the time into the game either. But like MK11, like didn't like I really enjoyed that one.
Is that one more like they said it was a slower change of pace, at least when it comes to the fighting?
So
Since there's no running, right?
Yeah, so like there was a run button in Mortal Kombat 10, and like
That started like in 3, I think. I think it started like in 3.
Oh.
You get like a little run gauge, but of course I've been playing a long time ago. I could be wrong.
I don't know, like because I remember Mortal Kombat Trilogy, like I've played those, and I don't remember, but I know like it was like crucial to like the systems in Mortal Kombat 10. I was like, that's a little weird for me. And like I had like a bunch of different groups who played 10, and like, man, I don't.
Yeah, when it comes to NRS games, for me, it's just I just cannot get over the stiff animations. I just cannot get over the animations. They always look wonky to me, and I know that sounds weird, but I can't look at it. I can't. I don't like it.
I think like, well, my second best tournament showing was probably an Injustice 2.
Really?
Like I made top 8 once over at Nils Bar playing Supergirl.
Yeah, I think I remember you mentioned that. Injustice 2, I did enjoy that one because it was based off the whole DC universe and characters, and I like that better. But in the end, it just didn't hold me. I just couldn't get past. I just can't look at it. It's like but then again, I've been a Street Fighter fan since day one, and those two were the prominent fighting games back in the day, and I was just Street Fighter first, so it's always had a place in my heart. So when it comes to Mortal Kombat, I've always been like,
So I also really like the latest iteration of Samurai Showdown. I'm actually really excited for like it's getting the netcode and stuff's getting fixed. So I tried to play it like recently.
But are you surprised that was happening? I was. Honestly, I remember you guys brought it over one time, and we saw it, we played it, but it was kind of slow. I was like, okay, cool, whatever. I tried it, whatever. And I think that's like the last time I ever saw it. And then I really thought it was kind of a dead game. And then it's like, oh, rollback. But I did not see that one coming at all. I figured they'd first sooner announce Tekken would roll back. But then again, Tekken's been around for a good while though.
So imagine like just my thought that the so it came out like right before like the pandemic and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And so I was thinking either like they'll make another Samurai Showdown, or they'll do something like fingers crossed. I don't. But rollback nice, because like trying to play that game online. Terrible.
Forget about it.
Terrible.
Forget about it. Yeah, I've learned that lesson. There's some other games that don't have rollback, and I tried playing it, and man, I tried, and it's just. And the thing is, when it comes to fighting games, if it's not a major one, good luck trying to find a decent, just a pool to play with, unless you get on Discord and stuff and find it. But I'm not gonna go. I'm trying to make this as frictionless as possible. I want to log in and play.
I don't know, like with fighting, like I'm pretty open to like all fighting games. Like, I don't know, has there been a fighting game that I really didn't like? I don't know.
You like Smash? You like multiverses?
See,
Okay, how do you what do you put those under the category? They're not fighting games, right? They're just party brawler games.
I would jokingly say that like
Me too.
Smash is like a party
Me
game,
too.
but like
There is some skill involved to execute those moves. Yes, there is there. But at the end of the day, it's like,
well, so I guess like you call it like platform fighter.
sure. Then we'll call it Souls-like,
But,
roguelike.
like, I don't know, I played Smash like a lot more casually. Like, it's it's enjoyable because, well, it's enjoyable for the people I'm playing with because like they don't care about like frame data and how to do stuff. But for me, like I know like there are a lot of systems and stuff at work in the game, and I know I don't quite understand or. I don't quite understand all the systems and how to do all the things, and like it's a terrible experience for me.
Well, I think that's one of the things going for Smash is because I have some friends who don't really play traditional fighting games at all, but they would play Smash, and they get in it, and I mean that's kind of a strength to the game and that genre of the party brawler fighters.
Yeah, so I've actually played a lot of. I've played Smash. I played the Nickelodeon one.
That one came and went, huh?
Oh,
I heard a lot of people say because whoever the owners are, they didn't put any voices in there, so it kind of made it kind of bland or something.
but I think they went back. I think they added voice acting recently to it.
Good.
I have a separate friend group that really likes that game, and like I do pretty okay. But
Who's
like,
your team? Who's your character? There's no teams on that one, is it? 1v1?
April O'Neil.
You're a man of culture.
It's like,
That's how we're friends, Dirk. That's why we're friends.
And like I can enjoy it because like I'm not taking it seriously. Like I don't just
Beating the crap out of them, like yeah.
Okay.
Oh.
But like for most fighting games, I'll sit there. There hasn't been like one that I just didn't like. Like I really enjoyed Grand Blue.
Me too.
Blaze Blue.
Grand Blue just came out at the worst possible time. I really enjoyed it. I thought that whole mechanics of using shortcuts, and you'll get like a lesser version or be on cooldown, and the gameplay, the place, and the style, everything. I really enjoyed it, but I can't play online. It sucks. That sucks.
It's okay.
It looked great.
But
What about multiverses? Have you tried anything on that one?
no, like so we were going to try it at one point. It was in the beta, and we kept running some weird issues to try to get it started, and so I didn't end up. I downloaded it at home, but I have not tried it yet.
Really? They say I didn't know that you have to buy battle passes on some games. I was like, wait, what? Because I was listening to the boys talk about there's a battle pass for that game, some other games. And like, wait, you have to buy them?
Yeah, I think it's part of like the.
But I have to.
It's one of the things with like free to play and stuff like that.
That's one of those caveats that come with it, huh?
I just bought the battle pass for Pokemon Unite, but so I had been playing with some friends. And like it's like 60 something levels in the battle pass.
Sure.
And like so I told my friend, well, if I get all the way to 60, then I'll get it because I'll have all the stuff. And so I got to 60 and I locked it. And okay, I'll buy the. I reached the maximum and I bought the battle pass. Like it's okay. It gives you like some free currency and other stuff. Okay, whatever.
It's all the trappings of a free to play game, right? You can buy in-game currency, but it's never enough to be like a number of amounts. So you have to buy more just to like.
It's weird, like so.
It's like something costs 32 coins, and they give you like in packs of like, you know,
the
7.
The only other battle pass I've ever bought, I think, bought, but I didn't spend actual money was for this most recent Call of Duty Vanguard, like the first battle
That so terrible.
The first battle pass, I was looking at it. It was like, I got to the end well before the deadline and stuff, and I never spent like the free currency. But by getting to the end, it gave you enough free currency to buy the battle pass. Like, okay.
What'd you think of it?
So like, I think for those types of games, you have to have like somebody. For me, I have to have someone that I'm actively playing with to enjoy the game. So when you get like friends or something that you play with, then like even like friends can make like a not so great game better than what it actually.
Okay.
Another example is like Destiny when it first launched.
Oh yeah, they're up to some stuff now.
It was weird, like the kind of first of its type, like FPS
MMOs, game as a live service game.
Well,
before there were games.
It was a live service at first, but when the first raid came out, the Voted Glass, that's one of my most memorable multiplayer experiences ever. We all it was 6 of us. We all got together at my friend's apartment, and like everybody had like their setups and like.
Okay, on that sort of thing, when you make it like a social thing, yeah, I could see the enjoyment out of that. You know, everybody's just goofing off in the same room, just yeah.
And then yeah, Destiny 1, like. There's some memories there. Like we did the Vote of Glass together. Everybody like fell off when the second raid came out, but like I learned the second raid, then people came back and like I shepherded them through the raid. Then kept playing. Everyone else, including me, fell off at one point.
Of course,
another person stuck with it, and then like we came back and like she shepherded us through the next
all the
raid.
content. Yeah.
And, like. It was it was an experience. I stopped playing The Witcher 3 for Destiny.
I don't like both of those games. I couldn't get into Witcher.
And
I don't know what it was. I don't know if it was my fault or what, but I would start at the White Orchards, the beginning area, and then I'd see all this stuff on the map. I'm like, I have to interact with everything. Like, no, but I'm not gonna leave a resource on the table. And then I just start talking. Then next thing I know, I'm looking for this woman's cooking pan. I'm like, wait, I'm a Witcher. I'm doing this.
So
I was just like, okay, cool. So I went to start going to the next area, and I was like, hey, stranger, we need you to go on a quest to find this. I'm like, all right, I'm done. So I like Roach though. I thought he was cool.
Well, so for me, I guess I don't really play a lot of open world games, but like, so I actually didn't finish The Witcher 3 so I got past I did everything in the first area. Then I was doing other stuff like clearing the map. I stopped for a long time, play Destiny. When I decided to go back, there was a problem with my PlayStation, and then I had to ship it off. And then it was you have to reset your hard drive. All my data was lost. Yeah, like. It's like I'm not gonna do like at the time I wasn't ready just to do all that over again. Like, no. But so the other like big map games, I guess you'd call them.
Big
It's
map
like-
games, open world.
So it plays,
Is it a genre, or is that just something they use it to describe their game now? Because I've seen FPSs that are open world.
so
I've seen RPGs that are open world. I've seen, you know, I don't know. It just feels like
if to me it feels kind of like a catch-all term for something that's not like traditional level based, like back in the old days, like take Mario. In Mario, you're at World 1,
yeah,
and you go to 1, 2,
yeah.
But in that, it feels if a game isn't sectioned off, it's like levels. It's open world, I guess. I thought like maybe like so Grand Theft Auto is probably open world, right? Like
I would say safe to say that that's open world. Yeah.
so like Rockstar makes open world games, and so well
Hey,
for
Dirk, do me a favor, do it like right here.
a little bit closer.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or, I mean, you can move to the end of. You can move the mic closer.
So
There you go.
for me, like I did enjoy like the first 3 or 5 Assassin's Creed games. I
never played any. I never touched that at all.
So the premise of the first one really drew me in, and like it wasn't that great, but like it was like there's something I was
Okay.
really enamored by like the future plot line. And then, like, with the whole system about getting in the machine and reliving, like, ancestors' memories, and then, like, assassinating people, but it wasn't, like, boss fights. Like, no, you do the assassination. But then Assassin's Creed 2, I actually, like, improved on everything I disliked about the first game. It made everything better. Like, it was great. And then I was expecting like the next game to be the third one, be the last one, but no, we didn't even get like the next game. It was like Assassin's Creed Brotherhood, then Assassin's Creed
Kinda spin-offs.
Revelations,
They realized they had gold on their hand. Like, what can we do to make milk? To milk more out of this.
and like I was like, okay, I'm ready. And like, I mean, I want to see where the plot is going. It took some interesting turns. Then I think the last Assassin's Creed game I beat was 3. Like about the other ones, I was like, I'm good. Like,
So when Origins was announced, were you excited about it to go? Did you say, "Hey, I'm gonna go back to Ezio and the gang," or Ezio, whatever their name are? No.
no, no. Like, so Origins. That's the one set in Egypt, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
It was Origins, Odyssey, and then Valhalla. So those are like the kind of.
So Origins was like that was a cold stop for me. Like I had a friend who was playing through it, and now like it didn't even feel like the Assassin's Creed game, because like people had levels, and then like if someone was a higher level than you were, then like you couldn't just like assassinate them with the hidden blade. Like this isn't the game that I remember.
So you would have to go out there, do some side quests, level up,
and like
and come back, and now you're worthy.
that's weird. And then like I tried the one that's set in like Greece or whatever.
Odyssey.
And like early on, like they send somebody after you, and he's a higher level than you. You're supposed to do stuff or whatever to like to get like your bounty off. So he goes away. He's like, "Nah, I can kill this guy." Right? And then like it took like 20 or 30 tries when I killed it, and it did nothing.
Did it reward you, or
No, no, it was like, no, we're just gonna send him after you again. But I killed him.
consequences? But
So for myself, like I really enjoyed the first. So I liked the plots of 1, 2, and 3. I played the first 5, I guess, but I think 2 was probably the pinnacle for me for that franchise, and it just like I guess like with the fame and stuff, it just evolved into something
else.
It became what it became was entirely different from what it was from how it started. Like, I'm good.
Yeah, those games never interested me. I saw them. I was like, oh, it's a pretty cool concept. And then I saw Origins was being like, I guess Ubisoft took a step back and realized, we're gonna change the kind of direction on it. I was like, oh, open world, okay, nice, cool. And then I saw Odyssey, like, and then I saw Valhalla, and I was just kind of like, it seems like you guys did this again, just with a different form. And again, it's just I've never been a fan of Ubisoft. There's never been something they had where I'm like, oh, I have to play this, or I got to jump on this.
So, like I said, I don't really play many open world games. Like I'm vaguely familiar with Rockstar games because, like, those when my brother was playing games, those are the types of games that he would enjoy, like the Grand Theft Auto and stuff like that. And when he'd get stuck on something, I'd go and help him. Like, oh, this is actually kind of interesting, like this little thing here.
Yeah, my brother, who's not much into games when we were younger, he did like playing the Grand Theft Auto, and I would just kind of just watch him, like, oh, cool.
I think the first Rockstar game I played through was Red Dead Redemption. The first one on the PS3.
On 360?
PS3, 360.
When you play as John Marston?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, like, I also really like Westerns, though. Like,
wait, okay.
Red Dead Redemption 2 is a prequel to...
What's the one that came out 2 years ago? Or 3 years ago? That's Red Dead Redemption 2.
Yeah.
Red Dead Redemption, and then...
Red Dead Revolver.
Red Dead Revolver. Okay, so Red Dead Revolver was the first one. Then the Red Dead Redemption. Okay, yeah. Yeah, Red Dead Redemption. I remember playing that one. I was like, this is pretty cool. I enjoyed it. It wasn't great, but I was like, yeah, I had fun.
I like Westerns.
I think, yeah, the backdrop of a Western compared to modern day city life, it's, I mean, you've probably heard me say this before, but when you think of like American culture, they always romanticize the Western. That's what it is, the cowboys.
Yeah. Man, like, got a really good kick out of Red Dead Redemption. The first one, we got to Mexico, like, you can get the poncho and, like, the Clint Eastwood hat. Like, yeah.
That was pretty cool.
So Red Dead Redemption, the first one was the first, that's probably the first Rockstar game I played through. My brother played GTA 3, 4, and 5 at this point. And Mafia 2 and Mafia 3.
Who made Batman Arkham City?
That's
Rocksteady? That's Rocksteady. Okay.
So,
okay. I like that one a lot. I enjoyed it.
Is that considered an open world game?
I think so. You're exploring a large part of Gotham.
Or
a part of Gotham.
Yeah.
Yeah, because then after a while, open world, then like if you try to define it exactly for what it is, I don't know.
So, Batman Arkham Asylum was the first game I got, like, all the trophies for. Mm-hmm. No, it's the second one. Because Tekken 6 was the first game I got all the trophies for.
Oh, really? Nice.
It was weird. And then Arkham City, I got the trophy thing on the 360.
Nice. I don't think I got all of them. I believe I was working on that one. Like, collect all Riddler statues. And
Yep.
Okay.
And so, like, the other open world game that I played that I really enjoyed, this one's controversial, I guess. Some people love it, some people hate it. For me, it was Cyberpunk 2077. Oh. Like, I don't know, if
people are upset at it, I would say it's because of how it launched.
So...
But then again, I never played it, so I don't know how good the story is.
I never encountered, for me, like, I've been playing it since I played it at launch.
On your...
PS5.
Okay, you had it on PS5. So, which is probably the best way to play it
at the time?
I
didn't encounter a bug until, like, until after I had already beaten the game. I was going for trophies.
Roughly, what, 30 hours? 20 hours? 40 hours?
Well, see, I also did everything.
Okay.
Hit all the missions.
Do you ever get fatigued from just trying to collect everything?
No, so, like...
Because that's what happened to me with Spider-Man. I wanted to play Spider-Man, and I told myself, this is the one I'm going to platinum. And then, you finally get the Manhattan opened up to you, and then, like, hey, collect all of Pete's backpacks. Cool. Find all the secret labs on top of the rooftops. Okay. Look for all of Black Cat's. Like, after a while, I was just like, I am burned out. As much as I enjoyed traveling, web slinging, which phenomenal, but I just got fatigued of just.
I haven't gotten around to Spider-Man yet.
Really? I figured that'd be right up on there.
I played the opening. No, so this is something I may have discovered about myself a long time ago.
Oh.
Like, So well, at the time, like I had two other friends that were also playing it. We were like hanging out together, and like I saw them playing and like I'm just gonna play something. Maybe it's like I don't like playing
Backseat gaming.
I don't like playing the same game as like people who are close to me.
Like, at least when it comes to that genre, right?
Um,
Probably not fighting games. You probably don't care.
Yeah, fighting games I don't care
Yeah,
about.
it's a
But
different
like, well, my one friend, like, he's like a trophy whore and stuff, but like, he beat Spider-Man in 6 hours.
Get out.
Yeah,
I'm mad.
yeah.
What are you doing? What are you doing that you're playing a game 6 hours?
That was actually Al. That was Alan.
I
But
figured.
he skips all this. He skips all the stuff and he just goes in for
I
the
figured.
trophy.
I figured.
Um.
He plays them.
So for me, I actually didn't care about like trophies and achievements and stuff, and then like me and Alan got into like not really an argument, but it's like, oh, well, I got this. I got this many platinums. Like, man, whatever. I could do this. I could do the same.
You see, I think the idea of achievements, that's pretty cool, but it almost feels like it forces me to play the game different that I wouldn't play it. Because there's sometimes where like reach platinum level with this character. I'm just like, oh, I don't want to play that, and it forces me to like. And I get it. That's a way like developers to get you to really try different aspects of the game. But if I could get achievements or trophies as just how I play the game, cool. But when they start making me want to play in a different way, I'm just like,
Well, so
nice,
like
okay.
one thing I've noticed with like some visual novels,
Fanboys?
it didn't really matter. Like I could do things the way I wanted to do them and still get the platinum. Normally, the platinum trophy would involve like getting the true ending or seeing like all the routes and stuff. But there are occasions where, like, sometimes, like, if what they want you to do is like too egregious or like just time wasting, I'll just not do. I have one
one what?
one game I didn't platinum because of like how egregious it is.
What it was like defeat the game on legendary difficulty or something.
No, so like I could have gotten the platinum, but it would have been like hours, like over 10 hours of grinding like the same enemy. It like
okay. What was the trophy? What did you have to do? What was it?
So no, so the trophy was you have to beat like so when you beat the game, you unlock this tower thing, right?
Just name of the game. You get into it. Okay.
Get into it.
Okay.
And then so I did that, but once you beat the tower, you unlock the true tower, right? But everything's absurdly leveled, and essentially, so it was Yakuza Like a Dragon.
Oh yeah.
I really enjoyed the game, but
Me too.
to beat like the true Millennium Tower, you needed to have like 5 different rolls maxed out, like to 99, because things in the tower will kill you in one or two hits, and well, they got a lot of backlash for this because like. It would incentivize you to buy like the level up stuff from the
DLC
like, the
pack.
store. Yeah,
Wait, like from their actual online
Yeah.
DLC store? Okay.
like,
But okay, at that point, you have to ask yourself something: do I need a bunch of ones and zeros to give me an image for something I'm going to be spending? Who knows how many hours I could be spending on somewhere else?
it's like I'm very adamant about not spending money on like level ups and stuff like that. It hurt me a lot because I
Hey, Dirk,
enjoyed
do me a favor. Come right here.
I enjoyed the game, but like I was like, fuck this, I'm not going.
And don't get me wrong. Look, Like a Dragon, I enjoyed it very much. Do they have some lengthy cutscenes here and there? Yeah, they do. But at the end of the day, it was a really fun story, fun game. I enjoyed it a lot. And then once I completed it, I felt cool about it. I liked it. I was like, if they make another one, I will play it.
Yeah.
And then I just put the game away. I didn't have to go
they got a bunch
Do
of
all that other stuff.
backlash for the practices. I don't think that's gonna happen in the future, but it was a good game. Like it had a nice balance of comedy and seriousness at times. And the
For sure.
seriousness wasn't like over the top.
For sure, I enjoyed it. I had a blast, and that was like a JRPG. That was like, I like how they did this with Ichiban's just over hyper imagination, especially when you're fighting old boy from the Yakuza series,
Oh, yeah.
and then he wakes up like, did we get him? I lost it, bro. I lost. I was dead. I was like, that made me so laugh, and I really just like Ichi as a character.
So Yakuza Like a Dragon was like the cutoff point for me with grinding and like getting the trophy, because it's the one trophy that I don't have in the game is beating the true Millennium Tower. Another game came really close, and like it hurt a lot because it's like one of my favorite series, but like but it didn't actually reach that point. It almost did.
Oh yeah.
This is Tales of Arise. So
Tales of Arise, just give my little story with the Rise. I played Tales of Vesperia, and I've been playing it. Like, man, this game's not ending, and I kind of just put it away. So I picked up Tales of Arise because it was on sale on PlayStation, like for like $20. I picked up a copy. I was like, all right, I'm gonna have to find time for this one because I know it's gonna be a good while. But I was enjoying it when I played it. I gotta get back.
So for me, yeah, I enjoyed it. Like, I will say that not like none of the DLC is necessary to beat the game, or yeah, you don't need to purchase any like in-game leveling or anything. Although they offer it, you don't need it. I played through the entire game.
Just stock.
I played through the entire game. Didn't really. Well, there's some difficulty spikes, but like it never felt to the point where like, oh, I need to buy like the level ups and stuff. And the combat's really fun.
So okay, what did they sell as their DLC packs? Like they had like
so there
experience potions or something?
No, so there is a so there are artifacts that reduce the ingredients that you need for cooking, and there are a couple of titles that give you new arts, and so like well. But for me, playing through the game, like I didn't buy any DLC. Just played through the game. I never really had a problem with having ingredients for cooking or experience or arts and stuff like that. It wasn't until like the very last dungeon where it was, I almost hit like the exit point on the game.
Really?
Like the last dungeon is like a slog of like super powerful enemies, and then like there isn't really a checkpoint in between. It wasn't egregious, but like I got to like the room. I can see the checkpoint on the other side, and like it's blocked off. The door has like these different colored barriers, and there's 6 portals. Then the game lies to you. It's like, oh, you need to clear all the portals to unlock the door.
Well, that checkpoint's just looking at you.
Yeah. And so I go through one portal randomly, and I just happen to choose like the most difficult one that has the uber boss.
Great.
That you beat it, and then like it has a second floor and puts you right back into the fight. Like, man, fuck. I was like, fuck this. And I'm gonna have to do all of this. And, like, it was the one point. Like, I finished every Tales game. I was like, do I need to buy the DLC stuff and all that? And then, I was hurt. I was hurt for like a day. I was sitting there.
The game hurts you. I love it.
And then so I don't know how you are with play like RPGs and stuff.
I conserve everything to the very end.
I'm a hoarder.
Yeah, like because I never know I'm gonna need those mega elixirs, potion X. I was X potions the same to the very end.
And so they introduced the crafting system early on, and like I crafted one thing that you needed to. It was like, okay, I'm gonna just wait till the very end when I have all the stuff to make the uber powerful stuff.
The best buff, yeah, best in slot.
And then and so like it clicked to me like, oh, crafting system. I guess I didn't really delve into that. And
So you went near the very end without
until
crafting.
until like the end, like one room before the last boss. And then like so I looked like, huh, the crafting system is actually pretty awesome, and
Yeah.
I broke the game.
Yeah.
I,
You, you made like the best OP weapon or something or what?
well, so like I figured out the what's the best skills for them to have on their accessories, and like
What is it?
well, it's different for each character, and like you stack that, and yeah, I completely destroyed that. I didn't need the farm for any of the materials because I had all the stuff stockpiled, and like completely destroyed the game at that point. It's like, huh, that wasn't bad. See, like,
But that was saving all your crafting resources.
well, yeah, but
Roughly,
like
yeah.
I made a couple mistakes and experimenting, but like didn't need the farm or anything.
You know, speaking of saving stuff to the very end, I recently finished Sekiro Shadows like twice again. I played it for the first time last August. So I figured, you know what? It's been a year since I played it. I'm fresh off the heels from playing Elden Ring. Let me try Sekiro. See how it is. Because it's, even though they're both From Software games, they're a whole different animal each. So I was like, let me see if I still got it. I still got it. I was able. The bosses that gave me difficulty the first time playing it were Guardian Ape when he calls in the bride. That one was super tough for me. Red Demon of Hatred, Owl Father, and the last boss. Those were the ones I remember being super difficult. Honorable mention was the corrupt monk on the bridge leading up to Fountainhead. But then I found out you can go up a tree and come down and knock one of the stock off. I'm like, oh, okay. But yeah, I remember going back to that game and enjoying it. And I remember we had a conversation last time you were here about going through the game and saving some resource for your lapis lazuli because there's only X amount you can get per run. And when you told me that, I was like, oh, I gotta make a decision. Which one do I want?
Well, so like,
But I do love that game.
you can max out all of your sub weapons except for two of them, and well, two or three, two, right? And then you have to get all the way to Fountainhead Palace again to get all the
The
stuff.
carps, the scales.
Yeah, you need scales.
You need scales for sure.
And then there's there are one or two in the palace to make to upgrade to get the last two upgrades.
So I got lapis lazuli. I think the only one I upgraded all the way was maybe the umbrella shield.
Because I think there are five lapis lazuli things in the entire 5 or 6 in the entire game.
Mm-hmm.
So I maxed out definitely the umbrella. I don't remember.
And maybe the long spark.
There are two things that I didn't max out because you can't find it. Like there's no more. But Sekiro.
At the end of the day, the only one I was really happy that I was glad that I had was the umbrella because I needed that one a lot for Red Demon of Hatred because second phase when he jumps across, he comes down and just whips fire and like I didn't know like do I have to be doing a preemptive jump and then lash onto his head or do I have to just dodge to the left or right of that fire cone at the very last second. So I figured I just use a shield as the flames come in, and sometimes if I get caught while he goes up in the air and I know he's coming down, if I'm next to a wall or something, then I would use it for that. But at the end of the day, like I was just like, okay, I just need one or two items or prosthetics to get me through my gameplay. I'm kind of the style. I'm just that play style where I'm just gonna beat you in the face until I win.
I do want to get the platinum for that. I have to beat it
2 more times.
Technically 2 more times. Really 1.5 more times.
Okay, wait. Let me preface it. I have not fought Emma the Gentle Blade or Ishin.
Yeah, so you have to get the bad ending for. You have to get the bad ending for
Is that how you get that one?
Yeah, so like.
Because I think I'll ask you a question like, who are you gonna obey, your master or me or something like that, right?
Yeah. So yeah, you do. You agree with Al. You still fight him, and then you'll fight Isin. You'll fight Emma, then you'll fight Isin back to back. So I actually beat all the bosses for both routes but you have to get the trophy for beating all the bosses. You have to have them on the same save. But I used the save backup trick. Put your save data in the cloud, do
Ah,
this, and then go on and play the rest of the game. So I have to beat it 1.5 more times
okay.
because I have to stop it in the middle by fighting like Isin and Emma, and then play through. If you do it that way, then like you can't max out your stuff because you don't get to the Fountainhead Palace. And you can't get all the skills.
There's other
and stuff.
resources. Yeah.
Yeah, and so I think that's what I'm like. So my next playthrough will be a half playthrough, and then and then I'll continue.
Because that game also just taught me about, again, just limited resources. Like, how many rices can I get? How many divine confettis can you get? Well, you can buy them, but they're 300 yen, sen, and every time you die, you lose half your stash. So they're kind of rare.
Oh yeah, and then you gotta make sure you find all the merchants.
Yeah.
And then to get better items, you want to do the right path. There's a side quest with the guy who hears the music, and there's a side quest with like
Who hears music?
big guy. There's a guy who's like, "Can you hear the music?" Da-da. So you want to send you don't send him to the doctor. You give him like almost wrong directions, and he shows
Oh,
up.
he's in the dungeon?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then you don't send the big fat guy to the doctor guy. Instead, like you send him to the shop guy at the beginning, and you get like the best shop. You send a different dude to the doctor guy because the doctor's gonna kill him and reanimate.
And like in true Souls fashion, they don't tell you anything. They're like, hey, here's a decision. It might impact your game. I don't know. And then you're like, oh, yeah, sure. You're asking for something. Just give it to them.
Well, let me ask you, what makes a good game for you?
I think it's similar with the criteria you were saying, where it depends on what I'm playing. What makes a great game? And I'm kind of the mindset, and I kind of adopted this mindset from our friend Johnny, where in the game, winners and losers. Someone has to die, someone has to lose, and someone has to win. There's like a consequences for your actions in the gaming part, and I agree with that. Like, you're right, that's a game. So when I hear things like, these like narrative-driven games, I'm like, I don't like to call them games because like, what am I losing? Nothing. I just like, just restart, you're fine. Or you pick the different ending, do it again. Of course, that's kind of just nitpicking. It really just comes down to, do I have fun at the end of the day just playing it? Can I just go through it and not worry about it, not be frustrated and enjoying it? Because recently, going through Elden Ring, I put 130 hours, and it didn't feel like that. I enjoyed it. Even though the times where I was getting my butt kicked by Melania, Blade of Makilla, I know that name well. I still had fun, whether it was learning that fight or discovering new things. So if it's something I could really just get immersed in, I think it's a great game. But of course, that's a question that's going to be varying from person to person, because what I like might not be something that you like, which might be something that so and so doesn't like.
Okay, so for me, like I definitely see value in like the risk and reward, like winning and losing. I see value in it, but like for me, I don't think that's like the
Pinnacle or definition.
that's not the pinnacle or the end all be all for requirements. Definitely, like so if we put it in the context of fighting games, like I think in a fighting game you're always learning whether you're winning or losing. Like a lot of some people
the game
say,
will tell you, you lose, I lost.
Some people say like you learn a lot more from like your losses and stuff.
Oh,
and
I agree. I definitely agree with that.
But okay, so yeah, having that risk reward thing, like doing something super unsafe or whatever with potential payout and all that, I understand. But like, so in some narrative games and stuff where there isn't like anything that you lose per se. I don't think like I don't think that devalues the game. Like as long as there's something that you enjoy.
For sure.
For example, like well, I've talked to some people and they're like, Elden Ring's like the greatest, like one of the best games I've ever played in my entire life, stuff like that. Like, okay,
Yeah.
So like, I played Elden Ring. I really enjoyed it.
Hey, Dirk, do me a favor.
I played
Put
Elden
the mic
Ring.
right there, and that way you can like still lean back.
I really enjoyed it. I got the platinum.
Which play as? Filthy caster. When you showed me your YouTube video, like this is me killing Melania, I was like, oh, good for you.
You just don't see the like 70.
Good for you.
You don't see the 70 or 80 times I died to get that one.
No,
But
no,
yeah.
I saw that video. I got mad, dude, because I'm doing like a chimp using a two-handed colossal sword. I'm like, why am I doing this?
Well, I played Elden Ring. So Elden Ring does a lot of things great. Like it has like the Mega Man thing where like you learn bosses pattern and stuff like that. It has like a sense of discovery and adventure. Like you go like take off in a direction, you find stuff.
Oh, for sure.
But
it does it in a way where, like, standard open world games now, well, they have your objective right here. Here's your little compass up top. It does have the compass. Here's your quest descriptive. Here's something you can interact with.
Well, so like one thing I think Elden Ring does well, like so it tells you what the straightforward path is. Like all the little save points point you in the direction of the main quest, but very very early on, like it's teaching you something that like you probably don't register unless you're paying attention, that like in this game, like going like the main story path, that's probably not the way you're supposed to go in the beginning, because like you keep like for me, I remember like opening area, following the thing, then you get to the point where the guy jumps down,
yeah,
those dudes are shooting at you, like like this seems a bit unfair. What am I supposed to do?
Again, the beauty of that though is if you just kind of deviate and go to the right, you could totally just circumvent that whole interaction and
run through,
or you could run through. Yeah, I learned that lesson when I came out the tombstone and I see that giant tree sentinel. I saw him, like, I'm gonna kill him. He's like, shut up. And then I realized, okay, that's Miyazaki saying, you don't have to fight everything. Oh, okay.
So like I think what it's trying to teach you is something that most gamers do already, but they don't pay. So like a video game logic, right? You know the right way to go, but like there's this other path over here. Let me go and see. It's a dead end, but like there might be like a treasure chest or something that
an interactable hidden secret or something like that. So I have seen before where some developers say when they're testing out people playing their game that some people, their eyes just go straight to the minimap, and that's all there's, and like eyes glued on that. It's like, man, that has to, like, how do you combat that? I guess just remove them, because I find myself doing that sometimes. I played a little bit of Soul Hackers 2 last night, and I was kind of getting to dungeon. I kind of just kept looking over and.
Yeah, so for me, I look at the map and like I try to determine like the way that they want me to go. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go this way. I'm gonna do let's see what's at the end of this path. Like I think it helps the Soul Hackers too, because like there's no dungeon, there are no chests or anything. Everything, like your demons go out and find stuff.
You just gotta interact with them, yeah.
Yeah, and you have to like they made what I also like about that game is like you can see clear across the map, and even though like the way the map is, like you
mind you, I've only done like the first dungeon. I'm doing arrows memory thing. So I'm still early in the game.
Yeah. So
spoilers.
I haven't gone past that either.
Okay. So yeah.
So like even in the first area at the docks,
Mm-hmm.
like although you opened the gate or you went to another area, you could. I found myself a couple times turning the camera around, and I saw one of my demons like in the area I just left, so I'll turn back and go
interact with them. Yeah. Oh wait, so going back when you asked me about what makes a great game, I'm also a big fan of fighting games and FromSoft games. So I mean, let people know that's what I'm about. I mean, I like challenge. When it comes to fighting games, there's something about when you're stuck in the corner, they're gonna do. You have to have half a second to decide: are you gonna quick rise, roll back, stay down? Are you gonna wake up, jab, DP, stay there, block? Are you gonna shimmy? Like you have to think of all this.
You're gonna block. Are you gonna block
Or
high?
are you gonna block high, low? Yeah. So you have to think of all this, and there's nothing that when I played Horizon Zero Dawn or Witcher or Spider-Man, I don't get that feeling from that half a second because it could go anyway, especially when like the lives are down this much or you have CA or on, like it's just, to me, it's a great feeling. So
so back to what I was saying about Elden Ring, right? So like people were like, oh, this is the best game I've ever played. This and that. And like I played it, like super enjoyable. Like there's a sense of discovery. Like you can just go off the side of the map and you find stuff. The bosses and even the enemies, like most From Software games, are challenging. I don't know if I consider From Software games difficult or hard, like not as hard as what they're advertised.
Really?
It's just like it's a learning process, and like from like exposure and like spending more time with the game becomes a lot easier, I think.
That's a fair assessment, but of course it comes with you learning patterns, right? I mean, that's
Yeah.
your style. You kind of see a problem, approach it, analyze it.
I mean, like I have other characters that are not casters. I just prefer to play. I prefer to play.
I'm gonna guess they're busty and blonde.
No. So with Elden Ring, right? So I had a great time. I fought everything. I got the platinum. I really enjoyed. Like, I actually started a second playthrough when I finished. I enjoyed it, but like, I stopped like fairly early on in the second playthrough. I was pretty much done. Like, it took me about a week and a half, and I was pretty much done with the game. And like, if they release like more content and stuff, I'll go back
For sure.
But so like, it was enjoyable. I don't know if I'd put it in. I don't know if I'd put it in like my on a top game list for me, because like I did enjoy my experience. But it didn't really, like, there was nothing that really stuck with me after I finished the game. Whereas
What are some games you do go back to?
well, no, so like there a couple of games that would make it to my top list, like two of them are visual novels.
Okay.
Right? And the thing is not that like it's not like, oh man, they had like super challenging puzzles and stuff like that, but like the story and stuff was so profound that even once I finished the game, like I just had to take a break from playing stuff because like, well, I was blown.
You had to let it sink in, huh?
Away. It was
It's kind of like Kermit the Frog, that meme. He's just kind of like standing in front of the pond, just thinking about it, reminiscing.
like those a couple of best stories like I've read, like the even like
Okay, which game was this one?
okay, so for me, so it's part of a. So the first, the Somnium Files, like it's made by the same guy who made the 3 Zero Escape games. Also, like the Zero Escape series 2 is kind of up there for me. Like, so with the Somnium Files, like it a part of it touches on like something that I'm a little fascinated with, is kind of central to the thing that I'm writing as well. But like the story was done, like me and a friend of mine. I started the game with him, and like we played through the entire game together. Like, man, like, wow, this happened. Like we take information and we're trying to
Like you guys
figure
were
out
like in the same space and kind of just like discussing some of the decisions and choices.
Yeah. And like, man, like the stuff that just happened in the story. Wow, I can't believe that happened. Who the actual like culprit and stuff. And like that experience just like stuck with me. And like I had kind of the same feeling for the first one's called 9 persons, 9 doors, 9 destinies. That's the first.
Okay.
That's the first Zero Escape game. Also, there's a visual novel that I haven't finished yet. You know about Danganronpa, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I played Danganronpa 1 and 2. Like, they're pretty okay. Like, but Danganronpa V3, like, it's separated. It's a separate story from the other 2 games. I played through the first, like, I kind of slugged my way through the first case of that one. But by the end of the first case, that game does something that I didn't even think was possible in a visual novel, and like I had to step away for a moment to like to kind of process and appreciate it. And well, I'm making my way back to the game. Like I played through the first case back when I had my partner like 2-3 years ago. It was like wow, like that was amazing. I have to stop right here.
Have you ever got any of those moments like with actual gameplay? I mean, not like nothing that was just written like with the story, but something happened in a game, like a mechanic or a discovery that made you say, "Wow, that kind of had that kind of impact." Or is it because you being a writer, you also like appreciate some good writing?
So like with gameplay, let me think.
Like a mechanic, you're like, "Oh, this is pretty cool," or "I like that," or like I remember like this because to me, I have that feeling when I play Sekiro, because there's nothing like that kind of feeling. Or like when I was talking about fighting games, those make me want to come back to them.
It's like in gameplay, like there have been times where like there have been times where it was like I'm kind of surprised myself sometimes too. Where, I wonder how that works. Like it's probably like this, and like well, so for me, like going way back to arcade days, like the first time playing either.
We're at Tilt, Pasadena. Where'd you play at?
Like even before Tilt. Like,
that was my first exposure to the arcade scene. Well, just arcades was the Tilt in Pasadena's town square or whatever it was.
So at the Washington, by my grandmother's house, they had a Street Fighter 2 cabinet.
Oh, nice.
There. And then like it used to be the grocery store used to call Price Busters back in the day. It's a Fiesta now.
Yeah.
They had like cabinets there too, but I forget, it was one of the versus games, and like I saw like a air combo being done. I'm like, I wonder how you do that. And I was like, if you launch and press, and well, like actually trying it and like having like doing the combo and stuff the first time, like that felt like really really great,
really rewarding.
There's some games though where have you ever played a game that like okay, so you find out what how the game works and stuff like that, but at some point all that goes out of the window, and it okay, for example, Drakengard 3 is Drakengard 3. Have you ever played Drakengard before?
No, isn't that like a Square Enix game?
It's so I think they published it, but so Yoko Taro makes the script and stuff. He's the same guy who wrote the script for like Nier.
Okay, kind of oddball, isn't he?
Yeah, he's weird.
Okay,
he's weird, but like with Nier Automata, like he did the script and stuff, but like Platinum Games made the actual game, so it's different. But Drakengard 3, the game plays one way throughout however long it takes to beat the game, but at the very end of the game, the last boss, you throw everything you know out the window, and the game turns into a rhythm game.
Really?
Like what?
That's pretty memorable.
It's different and difficult, and
you know what's different for me, and I'm surprised I'm actually playing it, and it's one of your recommendations because I asked you about it. It's 13 Signals. Aegis Rim. I remember seeing it somewhere, and I was like, okay, that's cool. I think I was listening to a video game podcast, and they talked about it, and I was like, oh, okay, have all these characters, you play the story, and it sounded really cool about it, like really hype about it. I was like, oh, okay, cool. And then I remember asking you about it, and you had you really recommended it and stuff like that. But my prior experiences to stuff that are like heavy on the narrative were Night in the Woods, and I was just like, this is dumb. I don't care. And then I did play Oxenfree. I did kind of enjoy that one. Oxenfree was pretty cool. And then there was maybe what, I don't know. It could have been another one, but I was just like, these narrative-driven games just kind of suck. Like, what's the fun? So, on a leap of faith, I was like, okay, it's published by Atlas. It's Vanillaware. They did Dragon's Crown, which I never played, but I like the animation. I was like, okay, I can get behind that.
Odin Spear.
Is it? Is it? Okay. Yeah. Wait, they're the ones who made Odin Spear?
Yeah.
Okay, because Lion Soul was on chat and he's like, man, it reminds you of that. I was like, oh, okay,
Yeah, Odin Spear. Odin Spear. It's interesting. It's like the plot is essentially it's Norse mythology.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I remember, yeah. So I took a shot on 13 Sentinels, and I'm like, wow, this story got me. I'm at the point where I started off because I think at the very beginning you have like 4 characters, so I was able to just pick one story, go next person, next story, next person, next person, and I'll still keep up with it because it's relatively fresh. I'm at the point now where I finally unlocked my 13th character, and it's hard for me to remember what I do with Kasumi that I did with Nenji. Like, oh fuck, I forgot. So I'm at the point now where I'm just like, I'm do everybody's story, so I get to where I have to be, and not only was the story, I'm enjoying it. It's still good, and I gotta get back to that. I'm gonna put a pin on Miwako. We'll put a pin on that one. Remind me of that, okay? So I'm doing the story right now, and I'm really having a blast. It was like, oh my god, 426 did that. Okay, so I'm at that point there, but actually playing the game part of it and leveling up and making your team, and the game will give you some objectives and stuff like that. You know, if you play it with all Gen 4 team or with only 4 members or something like that, you get some bonuses, whatever, cool. But, you know, you can level up your weapons, have different kind of loadouts, situations that's going on. Like, I thoroughly enjoyed that battle part, and I kind of just burned all the way through. So I'm at the very last. Let me see. You start off with a tutorial, then it's 1, 2, and then yeah, I think it's the last set of scenarios. But the game won't let me go until I, you know, keep catch up with the story. But even with the gameplay and the story, I generally had a blast, and I can't put it down. And I recommend it to Mikkel. I'm like, Mikkel, you need to play this game when I'm done, because I'm just having a blast. I can't put it down, and it's perfect for Switch. That's what I'm playing it on, because I could just, yeah, you know, I'll play one chapter before I go to bed. So yeah, I've been playing that game. I like that one a lot.
So like for me, so narrative is definitely like one of the big factors for me when it comes to games. Well, games asterisks. Because like narrative something I value a lot, but I understand that not all games are narrative focused, but there has to be like gameplay or something that draws me in. But like it's weird because
okay, let me put a pin on it real quick. So I just remembered when I asked you who's your favorite character, you're like Miwako. I'm like Miwako, and then I play Kasumi's story. Kasumi, the girl with the braids.
Okay.
Yeah. Something happens with Miwako. I'm like, okay, I don't know what's going on yet, but there's something here. So I was like, okay, I want to see what's going on, because when you said Miwako, I'm like,
best girl, right?
I was like, okay, yeah. So, anyways,
I'm actually getting ready to do like full playthrough of that game. Like, I need to finish the trophies and stuff, but instead of like, because
which game?
13 Sentinels. Okay. Like, I was pretty much at the point where I just need to go back and do trophies, but like it's been so long, like I'm gonna just play through it like from the beginning. I have all the time in the world, right?
Well, yeah, there's a lot of story for sure, and I even have to go to the events and the archives just to like read and catch up on some things where I'm just like, oh yeah, I forgot about that.
With the narrative based games, for myself, like I'm also like a big horror fan. I love
You know the genre,
yeah,
style,
the
medium.
genre. So like, I definitely will when it comes to recommending a game that's like heavy narrative based. I do know that like some of my taste is a bit skewered because like I can definitely find like certain like horror what we call schlock.
Slock.
Yeah, like acceptable is like guilty pleasure,
Okay.
so to speak. Like one of my biggest guilty pleasures is probably like what is the name of that company? Supermassive Games.
Yeah.
They,
Wait.
they made like Until Dawn and the Dark Pictures anthology and
Danamarand,
Man of Medan.
Danamarand, The Quarry.
Yeah, I just I played
Okay.
through the Quarry when it launched. I'm like, huh.
Okay, I was thinking of super giant games. I was thinking Hades, Transistor, Bastion. I was like, no.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like when I'm gonna recommend a game to someone, especially when it's based on narrative, I have to go through like I have to consider people that are not myself or don't have the same like eclectic taste for horror trash and stuff.
Yeah, I heard good things about those games. I've seen somebody Until Dawn. Yeah, where, you play as a group of sexy teenagers and they're stuck on some sort of snow hill or
stuck
mountaintop.
on like a ski resort thing and things happen. Like, oh, okay.
And depending on the decisions you make will impact or have a butterfly effect. Right?
Yeah. And well, so like, are you ever gonna play the Quarry at any point?
No.
Okay, so the Quarry was interesting. It's werewolves.
Okay, spoiler, guys, in case you're listening. Corey, we're talking about. You've been warned.
It was werewolves. They have David Arquette like as one of the characters. He's not in there for like a super long amount of time, but also Lance Herkinson, a big horror name, is in there as well.
What's he done?
So I think Lance Herkinson. I think Friday the 13th. He's been a lot of like little horror movies.
Okay.
Not Evil Dead. Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Like as an actor or?
Yeah, as an actor.
Okay.
But like, I get like those names are kind of like a guilty pleasure for me. Like, teens, they do stupid stuff.
I like isekai anime. Yeah.
I try.
You trash.
No.
Your anime is trash.
Have you seen? So what isekai do you like?
Hold on. Before we start, I'm gonna take a pause because I gotta use the restroom. I'll be
I
right
use
back.
restroom as well.
All right, guys, hold on. Pause.
Don't really apply to me.
Yeah, it is what it is. I mean, I really just care about having just someone to hang out with, especially like during the whole COVID thing. It sucks. Like, like you kind of realize, I could do some things on my own. I don't have to go out every Saturday. But now that everything's done, it's like it's kind of hard to go see everybody because I think people just got kind of comfortable. Like, I'm just staying in. Like, that's an option.
Board games.
Board games?
Yes. I have like a ton of them in the car.
Well, I'm pretty fortunate that my wife likes playing video games also, so I could just, hey, want to play a video game?
let's do some.
Or do a jigsaw puzzle? Or watch whatever's on Netflix?
I need to finish the jigsaw puzzle I have at the well, I have too many jigsaw puzzles, so like at
What do you do after a while? Like you kind of just deconstruct them, throw them back in the box, or?
So Alan's wife taught me about the Mod Podge.
Oh yeah.
So I put Mod Podge on them and
Frame it somewhere, hang it.
Eventually, yes.
Eventually, you gotta find space. Okay, you think? I mean, look at this point. Anything I add, okay. What's gonna knock that down? Like really?
That's ideally.
Maybe the babes could come down over there. Maybe Persona could swap those, but like those, like I'm kind of like tapped out on there.
When I get an actual house, yeah, I just have jigsaw puzzles everywhere. Like I got a couple here. Let me show you. Nope.
Oh, did you watch The Sandman?
I have not watched it yet. I've been told it is very, very good.
What about Stranger
it is
Things?
on my list. So,
What's so funny?
so I've recommended Stranger Things to people, and now like everyone that I've recommended it to is way further than me. It was like, oh, you haven't even started watching.
You haven't been watching it?
Oh, Like,
I enjoyed it. I liked it.
I think it's a quirk I got from my dad. Like, so
Suggesting the
no, like we used to. Well, I guess I kind of still do it now. Every Tuesday is when the new releases would come out on DVD, and then we'd go and get like most of the new releases, and we'd watch them. At some point, like my dad, like I noticed I was getting way far ahead of watching stuff than my dad was. I was like, hey, why don't you? Hey, we got a ton of things to watch. You're like, no, I'm gonna let it build up. Like, when I have some downtime, just watch. And so that's kind of like. I didn't understand it at first, but now it's like I kind of get it. Like I have like a stockpile of not just movies now, but books too.
Really? Books are time consuming.
So depending on it depends on what as long as you're reading something that's that you're interested in, I think you probably get through it a lot faster.
For sure. But
you see, this is what I do.
Oh, that's pretty cool. Let me see that one. Go back.
It's Mass Effect 2.
Oh, it is. Okay, that was, in my opinion, I think that was the best one.
So I did out of place. Like, I didn't think I was gonna find the Mass Effect 1 puzzle, and so I had the puzzles for 2 and 3, and I opened the one for 2. I did the one for 2, but then I found the one for 1. And it was like, okay, so every time I finish a game, I'll do the puzzle.
Okay.
But it's Mass Effect 1. You've done that one too.
Yep. We got that one. I gotta find me a JoJo's Bizarre one.
Overwatch.
Oh, in no chibi form.
That that puzzle there is like some of the best quality pieces I've seen.
Really?
Like, and this for both. Like, there's this one and they have a Diablo one.
The Street Fighter ones were garbage.
Yeah.
The other one, the first one you showed me, the quality of that jigsaw puzzle was just Mikkel got that one. It was gifted to her, the Ravensburg, and those are pretty solid. And she got this Disney one that's kind of like, it looks like a stained glass, and it's like a very like almost a transparent plastic, and those are nice too.
Cyberpunk.
I never played that game.
Like,
am I missing out?
So for me, like Cyberpunk's like one of my genres. And I don't know. I was like, I saw it again, like, wow, that looks
like your genre as in like the style and movie settings, or genre as in gameplay.
Like movies and books, like
very dystopian noir. Blade Runner,
dystopian future, questions of Ghost identity. Where does the self?
Yeah. What's the one with Joel McKinnon? With the sleeves.
Are you talking about Altered Carbon?
Yeah, I enjoy that one too. Yeah, again, I do like that aesthetic, that style, that feature, cyberpunk,
like
Blade
it was
Runner.
right up my alley.
Yeah.
And like, so I imagine like you say like the open world game is kind of it's a genre that's super saturated, but me like, I guess not having as much exposure, just like there aren't a lot of ones out there that drew my interest. Like the ones that I play, I'm usually very, very interested in. Like, I enjoy. Isekai. What isekai do you
isekai. So lately I've been watching what everybody's been recommended. Rise of the Shield Hero. It's okay. I'm enjoying it. One that I've been watching is not isekai, is Jujutsu Kaisen. I've been enjoying that one. And what else I've been watching recently, and I'm all caught up on Attack on Titan season 4 first. Wait, is it first half, second half?
Like part 1, part 2.
There's
gotta be a part 3.
Okay, yeah.
It's like the final
part,
season.
Yeah, part 2 finished. I'm like, okay, the series ends like this. This is weird.
No.
And I talked to one of my coworkers who's big into anime. He's like, no, they're doing another part. I'm like, what?
Well, so that's a recent trend in like not just anime, but like shows in general. Like Better Call Saul, they had like
AMC. Yeah, AMC started it with, I think, The Walking Dead or something. They kind of started like, here's season 1.5, and then the next season, because Walking Dead, all those Better Call Saul, they're all under from AMC. So yeah, that's when I started noticing this whole.
It's a whole.
I get it.
Well, with Better Call Saul, like they did like season 5 part 1, and then It's a YouTuber. What's his name? Jeremy Johns. He reviews movies
No.
and TV shows and stuff. He was like, well, he was gonna wait to do his Better Call Saul video until like season 5, part 2, but then they did the final season, and like it said season 5, part 1 just was season 5, and then like the 2 final seasons were season 6 and season 7. Which I'm like, okay, whatever. So for me, sweet. Like,
But isekai, I've noticed. I'm sorry, but isekai, I've noticed that was kind of a genre that's been going on. I was like, what is this? I was talking to David. He's like, it's called isekai. That's a genre. I'm like,
in another world.
Yeah, I'm like, wait, kind of like. And Mikkel brought this up. She's like Inuyasha. I'm like,
Yes.
oh, okay, yeah. And I told her like, would I like it? She's like, it's kind of a girly one. I'm like, oh, okay, I'll wait.
So there's one isekai. It's weird. Like, so I think I may have an aversion to watch. Yes, I have an aversion to watching things that are popular, but like only in some instances. But
And JoJo's is one of my favorites.
JoJo's.
I love JoJo. I asked some people about it. They're like, "What? Why do you like about it?" I'm like, "What don't you like?" I mean, it's over the top. It's hammy. It's ridiculous. I love it through and through. The animation. Some people are like, "I don't get it. It's dumb." I'm like, whatever, fine.
It's a generational story.
Yeah, I have a blast.
So what was I going? So isekai, like, well, that's definitely a super saturated genre. It's weird. I think what I think is the actual best isekai right now is actually a parody. Well,
What's it called?
it's kind of its own thing, but it's also a parody. Konoshuba.
Kanoshuba.
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to write. How you spell that?
Kon.
Kon.
O.
Oh.
I think Shuba.
Shuba. Okay, I'm gonna look that one up.
So, well, it's kind of a parody, but also like as far as like the novels and stuff are concerned, it's one of the few isekai that actually ended.
Okay.
The show hasn't quite ended yet.
Still catch up to the manga.
Yeah.
I mean, look, when it comes to making a parody and it still being kind of good, it reminds you of The Boys. Because if you look at it, it's a parody of everything that Marvel's doing, but it's like it's such a parody that it kind of does its own thing. It just kind of stands out, which I really like about it.
I would say The Boys is kind of like satire to an extent.
Yeah,
or it could be a deconstruction. Right? This is what superheroes are supposed to be. This is what. Yeah.
But this is what happens when the corporations get a hold of them.
So, also, have you seen ReZero? ReZero's.
Johnny told me I should watch just Fate Grand Order or something like that. I'm like, which one? He's like, just the basic one. I'm like, okay, I guess I'll watch it.
So Fate.
Where's the one where they're like knights and Arthur gets gender bent into a girl?
Oh,
which is that one?
So like,
my friend Trip loves that one.
Fate's a whole rabbit hole.
Yeah, I'm not gonna go into it.
Self like Fate Zero was really good.
We'll just leave it at that.
Fate, yeah, like another anime YouTuber called Giga. He made a video about he made a videos like how to get into the Fate series.
Really?
It's like, oh,
you know, I have some friends who like Rick, you should watch One Piece. I'm like, dude, I'm not gonna watch One Piece. I'm not gonna watch Naruto. They're like, guys, I'm like, you know what? There's so much good stuff out there. So, this is serious. Give me the bridge version, bro.
Okay, so for me, like for a long time, I had a joke that I would not make now, but
make it anyway. Wait, is it racist?
No. Okay. No. It's just like pretty much the joke was just saying like all shonen or the same and everything. So like oh yeah, like One Piece is about that guy who finds the Dragon Balls and joins Fairy Tail and just becomes. But then I started reading One Piece and like,
yeah.
So
does it stand up to Dragon Ball? Yeah.
One Piece is one of the best pieces of literature I've ever read. Like, I put it like right up there with like Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
Yeah. The actual show.
Which Lord of the Rings? Like all
The
Like,
show kind of has some problems with pacing and filler, and yeah, but like so with any like good like long narrative, One Piece is late. It's not so. Well, there's a reason why it's the last of the big three.
Okay.
Right? The big three is Naruto, One Piece, Bleach, right?
Okay.
Bleach had problems, and yeah,
Never got into that one either.
Naruto.
Like, I mean, at this point, you're probably thinking, what kind of weeb are you? Like, I'm
no,
really
no.
picky.
I understand.
Death Note's also one of my favorite ones.
One Piece is in its last arc in the manga.
Why'd you make that face? Have you heard that before?
No,
Have they
it is definitely in its last arc.
Okay.
It's probably gonna last about 3 years or so. But that's like, you get one chapter a week, and then there are break weeks and stuff like that. But so One Piece has like two of the best arcs probably in all of manga.
Yeah.
But one thing that One Piece does well is the world building, and also like there are no throwaway characters, and like the characters are very well developed, and well, so each.
Oh, okay. So I remember. I think I was talking to my wife about this, and I think you might agree with this. But when some authors make up a character, they have like a series, like 10 questions. Like, what is this character scared of? What are their fears? What are their favorite colors? What are some of their childhood? Like, even though you're never going to use that character, if you have all of these 10 questions like written out for them, it kind of helps flesh them out to become a real character.
Yeah. So you want to have like so. Usually, like the characters usually fall into one of two types. Either they're a flat character, like to give you a reference,
Goku?
like Goku. Like there's like no depth to Goku at all. And then they're more what you call dynamic characters that are whose morals are more gray or they're complicated. My example would be Vegeta, but like
I think that's perfect because honestly, when it comes to me and my wife, we love Dragon Ball, and Goku's the same since since Dragon Ball. So I mean, now he's just an adult with 3 kids. Vegeta, he has a whole
man.
He has layers to him, and I love Vegeta.
He was a villain, then an anti-hero, and
a family man,
and like he has this whole sense of pride
and honor, yeah,
and he has to come to terms with him not being the strong, like this nobody is stronger than you. And then like even in the movies, like he has like, not only does he want to compete with Goku, but he also has like the family aesthetic
for sure.
In the Battle of the Gods movie, like
is that the one with Broly?
No, the one with the one where Beerus is first introduced.
Okay.
You get like this inner monologue with Vegeta where he's like, he wants to be the one fighting, but like he's kind of glad that he isn't because he has Bulma and Trunks.
He has people depending on him, yeah.
And so like, so I think like especially like for the best villain is one like that their actions are not.
Hey, do me a favor.
Their actions are not correct, but like you can see the villain's point of view. You can understand like their mindset or like, and
so One Piece does that. Have these fleshed out characters.
So yes. So the world building in One Piece is like right up there with Token. But I would argue the character development in One Piece is a lot better than Token. But like any great long form storytelling, like it reveals itself in layers, and even on like the shonen aspect, like there's a whole thing about like power scaling and power levels and stuff like that. In Dragon Ball, pretty much, like Goku's gonna always.
He's gonna get challenged. He's gonna dig deep, and then whatever color Toriyama wants to use for Super Saiyan We'll throw it out there, right?
Yeah. And so like that's
I
kind
mean,
of
we get it. We love these characters, but we kind of know, like, yeah, that's to rise to the occasion.
but that's kind of like a trope in most shonen, right? Like main character has to beat the bad guy, and it like so One Piece is sort of a shonen. Like yeah, there are parts where like they happen to see Luffy's gonna beat the bad guy, but there are also like many moments like where Luffy may be extremely powerful, but he's not the most powerful character there. And there's some fights that Luffy actually doesn't win. And
So I'm writing all this down, like all stuff to look up: Pathologic, Konosuba, One Piece.
so one piece like so there's some things you have to accept that like it's a little goofy, yes.
That's
but
fine.
they're on the journey, right?
Like at this point, if you're watching anime and you don't expect to see some goofiness, like what are you doing here? Like, come on, you know what you're doing. You know what you're watching. There's going to be some of that.
Like there's a so well, rules are introduced and like you're given a perception of how things are, and as you go like it just expect so like well you're learning, not only are you learning about the characters and their dynamics, backstories, but like there's a sense of discovery with the world itself. So pretty much like they travel to different islands and stuff. Every island kinda is its own world in a sense, but also part of a larger world. And like
I guess the natives have their own culture, and then they go
some
to
islands have their own rules. Like they go to this one island called Whole Cake Island where everything's anthropomorphic. The food, the people, everything is anthropomorphic food.
Okay, I thought this anime was like a timepiece and it just took place like during like pirate era. I didn't know it was kind of like that kind of aspect. Okay, I'm a noob. I'm sorry, guys. Don't be mad at me. I'm sorry.
So in the One Piece world, like everything, a bunch of scattered islands. There's one single continent that runs around the globe called the Red Line. Right, the Red Line divides the world up into these four seas. They call it the Four Blues. Also, you have a because of the Red Line, it's a massive continent circling the entire world. On the horizontal, no, verticals up and down. On the horizontal axis going around the continent, it's this thing called the Grand Line, right? So the only way to get to the Grand Line, you have to go through the red line. The only way to go through the red line is one point called Reverse Mountain. You have to literally sail up a mountain to get into the Grand Line. And so in the Grand Line, you have a thing called the Calm Belt. It's the Calm Belt, like it's an area of the sea where there's no wind, there's no motion. If you get stuck in the Calm Belt, you're stuck there. And because of that, like the sea life in the Calm Belt has grown monstrous. So there are a bunch of sea kings. It's super dangerous. And then in the Grand Line, you can't use a regular compass to navigate it because of the Calm Belt and stuff. So you could be sailing on the Grand Line. It's sunny one moment, then you could be faced with like a snowstorm, hurricanes.
So it's all sorts of elements and
so the only way to navigate the Grand Line is with a special compass called a log pose. What the log pose does, it's not a compass that points north. It points to it's attracted to like the each island has like its own gravitational pull, and it points to that island. You have to travel that island, and you have to wait for the log post to reset before you travel to the next island.
okay.
And the world's controlled by the world government. So traveling in the One Piece world is extremely difficult because of the Calm Belt, all that stuff. The world government and in the combat you have the giant sea monsters and stuff like that. But the Navy can travel freely because they have technology that lets them go through the Calm Belt unnoticed by like these sea monsters and stuff. But but they don't share this with everybody because it's how they keep control.
Whoever has the power, who has the technology, the haves versus the have-nots.
So I think what Oda also does, what the author of One Piece, world building. Also, there's natural progression and escalation, right? So so one of the first things you're introduced to in One Piece are devil fruits, right? Mm-hmm. Devil fruit. You eat a devil fruit, and you get a special power, but you lose your ability to swim.
Oh.
You eat 2 devil fruits, you die. And so so the series starts off like in one of the 4 oceans called the East Blue, right? That's where Luffy is from. And he ate the gum devil fruit, so he has the properties of rubber.
Stretchy?
Yeah.
Mr. Fantastic kinda?
Yeah.
Roughly.
But can't swim. Well, right? And so devil fruits are like really important for a long time, but then eventually there's something else that's introduced that's been a part of the world since the beginning. You just don't know about it. You just don't recognize. You don't know about it, or like you don't know what you're looking at when you're watching it. But then you get to that point, you find out about this new thing, and you go back like, oh, it's been there since the beginning.
Yeah.
You just didn't know what you were looking for. But so One Piece establishes like the rules of the world, and for the most part, they're not broken. Like one devil. So it to give a perfect counterexample in Bleach, there are a couple of points where like Ichigo loses all his powers, no way to get them back, but then he gets them back.
Okay, but it's kind of similar, like I guess like with Dragon Ball, like death doesn't ever mean anything because let's just go on an adventure and bring back Piccolo or bring back like.
So in One Piece, like Oda has what he calls like fake out deaths, where like if something happens, like that character died, but like no, he's okay. There's actual death in One Piece, but there are Oda does like fake out deaths sometimes. Like there's one character that saves like this thing from an explosion. He carries the bomb away. And like he gets hurt really bad, like people think that he's dead. And he shows up like, "Oh man, this is my great." But also like a sign that it's in the like there are some deaths that really matter in One Piece, and then like in the final arc, we know that we're in the final arc now because the previous arc that just wrapped up. There are some characters that like are confirmed to be dead now that like in the past maybe they're just like the rule is if you don't see the body it's not dead.
For sure.
But it was like nope, those guys are super dead.
So One Piece, really good stuff.
Yeah, like
should look into it. I mean but at this I was talking to one of my online buddies, and he was telling like every time he log on and he checked with me like, hey, what are you doing? He's like trying to catch up on One Piece. Just trying to catch up on One Piece. Like, I guess, I mean, there must be tons of stuff of content to consume.
Yeah. So like, there's a thing called One Pace, which pretty much excises all the all he has the important
things to really keep an eye on.
Yeah, I think like fans did it or whatever. They've cut the anime into like only the essential episodes and stuff like that. It's called like One Pace. Yeah.
One Pace. I mean, because honestly, there's some episodes like Goku gets a driver's license, and we've all seen those filler episodes. Where like, you know. Okay, so you said it feels up there with Tolkien.
Yeah, world building, like he's up there with like best in literature. Like,
how do you feel about the new Power? What's it called? Ring of Power show from Amazon. Thoughts? What do you think?
I've seen a couple trailers. It looks so. It's a. I don't know what people are expecting. Like, I don't know if a lot of people have read this Silmarillion. I've read it.
Kind of hard. My wife says it's kind of hard,
Oh,
kind
it's
of
like
dry.
kind of like reading. Yeah, really dry. Like
She's like she's like it's like reading the Bible.
you enjoy reading the dictionary. There you go.
There you go. You like dictionary,
Yeah.
Webster's or Merriam?
Yeah, but like it looks it looks interesting. Like it looks interesting.
You give it a shot.
You know,
Because I hear that people, a lot of people are kind of like shooting it down already, and they're saying, they're grabbing Tolkien's work and they're kind of just reflecting on their own way and changing it because they're not supposed to be having black female elves, and it's just so weird. I'm like, okay, I get it. They're changing it. So, but at the end of the day, like I have to see it for myself and how they do it, because if you kind of like grab something and change it to do whatever you want, at that point, just make it generic fantasy story instead of tying in the Tolkien.
With Tolkien, like outside of like the Hobbit and the Lord of the Rings, like the stuff particularly middle that he wrote after that, there isn't like their ideas and stuff out there, but like they were like nowhere near like a publishing level and all that. But when it comes to like diversity and all that stuff with casting characters and stuff, for myself, like I don't.
Sorry.
I know, like there's some contract. Oh, there's like a black dwarf, or there's a black elf, or whatever,
or an Asian elf, or yeah.
Okay, so one thing that people like, these are, I can see no credibility in the arguments like, oh, you can't have like black elves, you can't have Asian dwarves and all that stuff, because these are all fantasy creatures. These don't actually exist
for sure.
I remember when I was growing up, there was it's a children's book called like Amazing Grace or whatever, about this chick who wanted to play Peter Pan, and like one of the students was like, you can't be Peter Pan. Peter Pan's a guy. But like the point is, it doesn't really. I don't think it matters. Like, so maybe like if this were like a drama or a reenactment of like. So for me, I don't really care, like, if actors like black, actors white, Hispanic. I don't care
if they change this gender bender or race bender or whatever.
How is the actor a good actor, or they perform?
Yeah.
In some areas it can be problematic. Like I definitely don't think like you'd want to do like a Martin Luther King movie and have like Brad Pitt playing Martin Luther
for sure.
King, right?
Yeah, kind of like what they did recently. I think James Franco wanted to play Fidel Castro, and I think I believe it was like John Leguizamo was like, no, Latin person should be playing. I mean, I kind of see like, okay, to be closer to Fidel Castro, to look like him, I guess you want someone that's of that lineage or ethnicity background. But at the same time, it also like, well, what's the best person for the job to act it out? And I mean, I could see both ways.
So
the way I see it is just with from what I've gathered of the Ring of Power, it feels like they're doing it just to like check boxes. And I don't know how good the story is. Like when they say, "Oh, we're gonna make the story to reflect it," like reflect what, Tolkien's world or like modern world, and what are you trying to do here? I mean, that's just my concern. And again, I have to watch the episode to make a concise opinion about it. And even then, once I watch that first episode, I should maybe take it upon myself to watch the whole season if I am going to, and then kind of judge it as a the season.
So. Also, like when it comes to the stage, so for me, I don't like race and color, ethnicity, like even in some cases, even like his gender, don't really matter. Like how good is the actor? So oh, but if you want to go back, if you want to trace like the history of acting and stuff back in like Shakespeare's day, all of the actors were men. Even the roles of women were played
By
by
femboys.
men, right? So in the well, in like our lifespan, I don't like what so I think where the problem starts to arise is where for like for like this long, you have this long time span of film and stuff where like they were only like uh every major role was only played by like a white actor, and if like if you're any minority or whatever, you probably didn't have speaking lines, or you're playing like some lower role in the movie. So like, I can see like people pushing for representation because in that aspect, but now like so for me, I generally don't take I generally don't take offense like when they do like when there's some decisions made where like this character's gender is reversed, or like for instance in House of the Dragon, one of the characters like who's coming from Valyria is played by a black guy instead of being white like the Targaryens. Like, oh, okay,
I thought
but,
he was just. So he's a Targaryen. I thought
no,
he was like.
no, he's a part of another house, but
Yeah.
like both, but that house is also from Valyria, but they weren't dragon riders with Targaryen, but their house, the Targaryens, have
Crossovers?
made marriages to keep the Valyrian blood,
Okay,
pure
going.
and stuff like that, but. Well, like I don't, I don't see a problem with. I don't get inflamed. Like, oh no, like this guy is playing like Valerian or whatever, but he's black. I don't care. Like,
As long as it's good, right?
yeah. Well,
Know what they're doing.
with there was a controversy with Guys of Egypt where you had, like Gerard Butler and other people play like these
That's right.
Egyptian
An Australian guy.
It's like, okay, I don't care. Like, Gerard Butler's a good actor. Like, so me as a viewer, like watching the film, like I don't. As long as the film has good actors, that's fine. If I were an actor, like maybe a black actor getting passed up for a role of being like a god of Egypt or whatnot, maybe I'd be a little upset.
Okay.
Right? But for me, it's always been about the skill of the actor.
Actor or actress?
I got into a heated argument.
With who?
With,
Okay, no, we don't say names.
with a friend about Netflix did a live action Lupin movie. Lupin series, right? Well,
They need to stop with the live action anything. I'm mad.
well, it was inspired by.
We'll go back to live. We're gonna go back to live action adaptations of Netflix because that's what I'm talking about.
It was inspired by Lupin, like actual Lupin characters, and like the main character is black, right? And I'm like, well, if he's French, he can't be black. Like, no, that doesn't make it. We got into a very long argument about that at the so Lupin the Third is Japanese, but R.C. Lupin the First is the original gentleman thief is a character created by a French guy who's French, and even in that time period in France, like you had intermingle, like it was pretty common. More common for like black people or whatever to be intermingled, married, all that stuff there. So, and then the series itself is set in France too. So if you want to argue lineage and stuff like that, then they like there's validity to like the main character being black or. But, like...
So you're okay with it or not? I don't know.
Yeah, like I'm not like it didn't bother me, but like for myself, like watching movies, like I've never been like
I think I'm more upset about when they like, kind of like I don't know. I've seen a lot of Disney do that. Like what they do, like, oh, we're doing this for diversity, and then they kind of like force it down your throats and like, oh yeah, check that out, we're cool.
well, so
Yeah, but they're doing it just for like marketing and stuff, like virtue
well,
signaling. I'm
yeah,
like,
it was
okay,
companies
cool.
they have to make money, right? But like you could also point to like early 2000s Cinderella movie where you had like the whole cast was mixed. You had Brandy playing Cinderella, and then like the prince was like a Latin person.
Mm-hmm. Never seen it.
I've seen a lot of movies.
Maybe it's good.
Well, so like I understand the argument for representation. Also,
Like, I mean, honestly, to me, at the end of the day, it becomes like, is this Tolkien stuff, or are they just kind of, are they changing it just so they could like do the checkbox and be like, oh, look at us, we're cool? Like, what are you doing here? That's what I got to see for myself what it is.
oh, I understand because like I see the argument for like for representation. Also, like
Also, who's the best person for the job?
no, I don't want to say I don't want to say that people are stupid, but
Some are.
but like. There's a percentage of people like they go if they watch TV or they watch a film or something and they only see like this nationality of person cast in this specific role. Like, oh, they must all be like that, right? So like if your only interaction with like so a black person is like they play. I've seen them in basketball movies. They all play basketball, or your only knowledge of like of a Latin, or Hispanic, or Mexican person is like, oh yeah, those are like the criminals and stuff,
Like the stereotypes, I guess.
So like there can be that could be an argument for like diversity or like having better roles in films and stuff like that. And so, but then to go in and try to ascertain. So, what part of this is because like we want to cast like these different ethnicities in a better light, and what part of this is like we want to appeal to everyone to make money.
Yeah. Okay, look, I'm just saying when I saw Squid Games, there was too much of the same. Just saying. That's a joke. That's a joke. No, have you heard that before? Where people are like, I think they said, oh yeah, like these American companies want to get these Korean films because apparently in South Korea some of the movies are really really good. They want to grab them and like they want to Americanize them, and the Koreans are like, just put subtitles, but Americans are like, no, we got to put it in English. And I could kind of see that line. I'm like, me personally, like if this is the artist's intention to release it this way, then you should like consume it in that way, whether it's like, you know, having to read subtitles or a dub version. But to want it to be changed just to accommodate you, I was like, no, this is the original version. That's how you should like enjoy it.
So my favorite Korean director, Bo Jung-pek, I think.
What's he done?
Parasite, Snowpiercer.
I've seen the movie. I haven't seen that series.
Have you seen Snowpiercer?
Only the one, the Chris Evans one.
Yeah, so that's well,
that's a Korean. But he's doing a Korean show.
No. So like, I think TNT or whatever made a show like quite recently. It's like 3 seasons now. But like he made the movie, right?
The one with Chris Evans.
Yeah.
Okay.
And like in the movie, like Chris Evans and some of the English speaking people speak English. The Korean characters speak Korean. Right?
Okay, that makes sense.
And then in Parasite, everybody speaks Korean except in South Korea. You just have to read subtitles. I enjoyed Parasite. Parasite was it won an Oscar, but like I don't.
It kind of just cool.
Well, so my look on the
I don't watch them.
Fuck the Oscar.
Yeah, I don't watch them.
But
dude, I didn't even know they happened this year until I heard about Chris Rock and Will Smith.
Oh, yeah.
I heard about that. And I'm like, oh, the Oscars happened. Cool.
But Parasite's a really good movie too. It's all in Korean, but it's really.
I'll take
good.
your word for it. I'm sure it is.
In spite of winning an Oscar, it's a very good movie.
I like that. It's probably winning an Oscar. What's the Oscar about anyway? It's kind of like you're like whether your game wins Game of the Year or not. At the end of the day, you still love it for what it is, whether it gets that accolade or not, right? So I feel that's what the Oscars are.
Well, how the Oscars started, they were not quite tax evasion, but like they were made as a way to save money and justify like their pay rates and stuff. There's a video on.
I'm sure Hollywood's a scam, right? I heard it's awful. There's like 16 dudes on set. Like only 2 of them are working, but they have to be there because they're contracted and unions and stuff. And don't get me wrong, I like union. Okay, I like what unions stand for. But at the end of the day, I feel that the unions are just kind of like politicians.
Well, the idea of the union, the idea, and then like what the actual
exactly. It's kind of like our politics. They should be working to represent us for our best interest. No, they're just gonna do special interest group and line their pockets.
Money,
inside deals and trades. Like, okay, and like everybody's just like, it is what it is.
So have you cleaned the first episode of House of the Dragon?
Yeah.
What did you think?
So, okay, I didn't watch it Sunday night with the premiere because it was kind of late already. I watched during dinner. I came home and I watched the first half with Mikkel. And then it's like, all right, we got to go do some stuff. Let's pause it and watch the second half the next day. So, in retrospect, I was thinking, I was willing to stop the show, do something else, then come back to it and then finish it. I was like, maybe I guess it didn't catch me as like the first one did, the first episode of the first season of the first series, because on that one, that episode ends with Jaime Lannister throwing like, and before then, when have you seen a show do anything like that, like right at the gate? Usually you hear the whole, well, by episode 3 it gets good. No, right at the gate, this show was like, oh, this is what we're dealing with. So trying to compare the new, what was it, House of Dragons? Trying to compare House of Dragons to the very first episode of Game of Thrones is kind of like, you don't have any Shaka there. I mean, there's one scene where I was just like, just getting queasy. I was just like,
is that the one where the Gold Cloak stormed the city? And
no. When they had to get the baby out.
Oh, yeah.
That's when I was like, when they were getting hatchets to the face and getting dismembered, I was fine. I was eating my dinner. I was like, oh, interesting. Kind of brutal. Wow. But that whole scene when they're getting the baby, that's where I was like,
well, so like for me, that's.
Oh, hold on. So sorry, but the honest assessment is, with so much of history of Game of Thrones, because I like the books, I read them twice, and watching the series, that I can't compare it justly one episode from this series compared to what everything else. So I'm going to give it another shot. I'm going to watch that episode, and I'm sure it'll be great. But right now, it's like it's standing on the shoulders of giants. So
okay, I think it was okay. I enjoyed it. Read Fire and Blood, House of the Dragon, it's pretty much adapting just 4 chapters of Fire and Blood, but Fire and Blood isn't your typical book. It's a it's a history book written by one of the maesters of the Citadel.
I think I have. Wait, it's an actual book?
Yes.
I'll show it to you later. I think I have it. Yeah.
Written by one of the maesters of the Citadel, and then and like, so the way it's structured, like this maester's gotten accounts from other people to so he has the account of a jester named Mushroom and I think a city watch person or whatever, and so it's, on some things, it's not very clear exactly what happened. Mm-hmm. Like, when Mushroom gives account of things, everything's about, like, sex and, like, violence and stuff like that. But when the city guard gives the account of certain things, then it's a lot more, it's a lot more about, like, well, Mushroom talks about machinations and stuff, but it's a lot more civil from the guard. It's like the police officer giving you their side of the story.
Of course, yeah, you get 2 different sides.
But but like this 4 chapters like cover like 60 or 70 years or so. So I think what we're seeing in House of the Dragon is kind of like the middle. It's a fusion of the two sides from the book.
Yeah, seeing Matt Smith as Damon, I was like, okay. So I first see him as a doctor.
Yeah.
So and I like that doctor. He was fine. So I just see that Doctor Who for sure. He was right after Tennant. Yeah, it was Eccleston, Tennant, and then it was him. And then after that, after Smith, was it Capaldi? What's the name? The older doctor?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I kind of stopped watching after that. I just didn't care anymore. I was like, okay, cool. That was fine.
Well,
but I mean, I think the episode was fine. It's just knowing everything that's came out before. It was so good. Of course, that last season was. Let's face it.
So
meh.
So yeah.
I'm still gonna defend the series. I still love it. That just the last episode is like they could have done better.
Yeah. So like for me, with the last season, like. I don't outright hate it like a few of my other friends do. Like it was, for me, it was okay. Like yeah. I got like a sense of I think I got a sense of what they're trying to get across, but the way that it was actually played out wasn't so well. But also like a lot of other people mentioned this as well. Like definitely like the quality of like the original series. Does take a slump when they run out of material.
Yeah, can you notice that? You notice that once they kind of lost the source material and George R. R. Martin was out of stuff. It's like, all right, guys, kind of come up with
there
it.
You go.
So that's kind of how I feel about House of Dragon. Is like how much does George R. R. Martin like have his fingers in the story? So I'm kind of curious about that because.
Well, so like for House of the Dragon, like that whole plot is done. Like it's already written. It's done. It's in the Fire and Blood thing. But so, if they maintain the quality, if we're going on the theory that quality will maintain, as long as like there's things to adapt. Like the segment that they're adapting is done. Like there's no open-endedness about it. It has a clear and definite ending and stuff like that. Then fingers crossed, it should be fine.
It should be fine. Fingers crossed. Yeah, because I remember like reading the books and then watching the series. Like I knew like there were some fixed points. At some point, the wall had to come down. At some point, this person had to die. At some whether it was a series or books, they had to have these fixed points to make the story had to revolve off of those. So, with this new series, like I have no reference. Of course, you talked about it, so we have to like just wait and see. I don't know. It's just, yeah. But that last season, it was kind of just, yeah. That's what happens when you don't have the writer anymore.
I mean, like there were moments that I liked, like there's an episode with the I think right before like the long night. There's that song sung at the end of one of the episodes. Like that's pretty cool.
By a Canadian dude? What's the name?
Oh no, you talking about Ed Sheeran?
Ed Sheeran, yeah, that guy.
Not that one.
Not that
guy. Once everyone gets to Winterfell, there's like I forgot. There's like I'll know next time.
Oh, no, yeah, we'll find it.
Actually, like so. I think it'll be pretty interesting. Like, when I watched Game of Thrones, I hadn't read all the books at that point.
Mm-hmm.
I think for me now, having read like Fire and Blood, knowing what's being adapted, like I'm in a different position. For this one, like I know the thing, I'll be able to spot like the little differences and stuff.
Where they deviate,
drastically change something.
Yeah,
there's some slight differences in the first episode, but like
that has to be right.
Yeah,
to make it fit and accommodate. How do you feel about Netflix, HBO, other production companies grabbing video games and making them into series and movies?
Because
look. Some of the Netflix ones, they grab some stuff, and I don't know, maybe because they are trying to cater to a casual audience, they deviate so much from the source material that it becomes something else, or that if they don't follow it close enough that they lose that hardcore audience and then they don't like it. So to me, it feels like, and not even just video games, even like when they grab like animes and they turn them into live action adaptations. It just feels like I don't know who the target audience is, but it doesn't feel like it's me. And I'm the like, I love Death Note, but when I saw that trash, I was like, oh god, why did I do that to myself? With Netflix recently releasing Resident Evil, I'm not even gonna waste my time on that.
So I think that video games are a lot harder to adapt than books per se. Um,
Okay, because I know someone's listening is gonna say, "What about The Witcher?"
well,
The Witcher was books before at first, right?
So
Because so there's someone here who's listening. They're like, "What about The Witcher?" Like, look, those were books
are
first.
books as well, and then like even like the very first Witcher book, The Last Wish. Most of it is like most of it is a readaptation of like little fairy tales and stuff.
Like a Grimm fairy tales kind of stuff like that.
Yeah, like there's one part that's like a different take on like Beauty and the Beast.
I think I saw that episode.
Oh, I haven't watched the Witcher series.
What?
Yet. It's on my list.
Okay, you have a list. You told us a story.
I wait for things to die down a bit. I've read the books. Like,
I'm not judging, but I'm kind of judging.
Well,
I'm low key judging.
And are you aware of the controversy with the Witcher books?
No, what happens in the okay, wait. No, okay, just give me the bullet point. What happened? What's the controversy? You don't know the controversy.
So, are you familiar with a fantasy writer by the name of Michael Moorcock?
No.
So he wrote a character called Elric of Manilbene.
Okay.
Right. And so this existed a long time before The Witcher and stuff did, and a lot of people have made arguments and stuff saying that like Geralt is just a ripoff of Elric, right? But like Elric, like there are similarities. Like Elric's called like the White Wolf and stuff like that.
Like even like physical.
They're both albino and stuff, but so on the outside, looking at like the two characters, you could argue like one's a carbon copy of the other, but actually reading the books, like the Elric books and the
Witcher books,
the Witcher books, they're almost two completely different characters.
That makes sense. Okay, that's possible.
But like,
it's probably a lot easier to get inspired by somebody else, and it just happens to look. I mean, I know. I don't know.
Well, it's so it goes a little bit more than like on the face comparison. So Elric has a story called Stormbringer, but the thing is, like, it drains his soul or whatever, and Elric has to take these potions and stuff. I saw a video on YouTube. Someone made the argument that like pretty much like Sapkowski ripped off of Moorcock and essentially took Stormbringer and gave it a body and called it Ciri, but like. It's like so.
Is that me? Not you.
That's me.
Sorry. You gotta go? Yeah. Take it. All right, guys. Where are we?
Hey, what's up?
Okay. I'm sorry. What are we talking about?
You wanted to talk about DLC.
Oh yeah. Guys, you're listening. Sometimes stuff happens. We just take a little break and we'll be back.
Oh wait, hold on. So hey, we're talking. I don't know. I guess we finished that thing about Witcher.
Witcher, yeah, similar.
You had asked about about adapting video games. And stuff.
Yeah.
So I think video games are a lot harder to adapt because, like, whereas in a book, like, whereas in a book, hold on.
Okay.
So when you play a game, like
I want to say, for example, The Last of Us, because HBO is recent. So HBO might be on a different ballpark because they have the production to maybe actually make it worth your while. Because for the most part, when you think of HBO series, for them, you could say they're mostly positive. They're really good for the most part. So it's probably safe to say whatever they're gonna do might work out. Sometimes when you see Netflix, it's like, I have no idea how it's gonna work. But at the end of the day, the way I see it is, why do people feel that the video game genre has to be adapted to TVs or movies? Like, what? Like, if it doesn't do that, it's not a valid form of entertainment. It has to be done in that way. Like, the game is the experience.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not gonna say like, look, if they ever make a video game movie, I'm not ever gonna watch it. Or anti. It just feels like, why?
Well, see, I feel like okay. So one thing with games is the length problem. Like most games at like there's the typical like action game or whatever, maybe like 6 to 10 hours or so, right? Whereas like when you're adapting like a book or a play or something like that. I think there's a lot more like.
You could just say it. Don't think about it too much.
So, I know. Games take longer to make.
For sure.
Games take a long time to make,
And they take teams of people. I mean, sometimes it's 5 people. Sometimes it's 1,000 people.
I had a reason why games don't translate well to like the screen, but I'm not sure. Like I want to say it's a time. Like you're playing as one character, right? And you're spending on average about 6 to 10 hours, unless you're playing like a RPG or something like that. But like pretty much everything's from your character's perspective, right? Whereas like I guess like you could do like a movie or a TV show. Maybe TV shows would work better because like you have more time. You have like either 30-minute or hour episodes, whereas in a film you have
90 minutes, maybe 180
minutes, maybe 2 hours,
280, yeah.
Right. But also like
well, stumped. You remind me of the Onion Knight from Dark Souls.
I'm thinking because well, no, like the Last of Us, you just mentioned the HBO adaptation.
Yeah, it might be good. But then again, I didn't like the game.
For me, like, I know it got a lot of praise, but like it wasn't really. To me, it was almost another zombie game that had kind of like a morbid twist at the end. That was okay, but like it like the chemistry between like Ellie and Joel is okay.
Yeah,
but it's not. It doesn't even make it into like my top 20 like narrative games. It doesn't make it into my top 20 gameplay experience.
I want to go back and play that game again. I've tried like 3 different times. I want to go and play it. I want to beat it, and then talk shit about it. Because that way, if someone says, "Did you even play the game?" I'm like, "Yes, I did," and it sucks because this and this and this, and it's just basically a long escort mission. Sucks. I'll give it like, look, the story's fine. But the thing is, like, I'm not here to play stories. I want to do a story. I'd go read a book. I don't know what the hype is about that game. I'm sure some people love it. Great. But to me, I mean, look, when it comes to the Sony first party studios, the only one that I really liked, the only one that I enjoyed, I should say, I didn't really like it. I just enjoyed it. It was fun, is God of War 2018. The banter between Atreus and Kratos along the way, pretty cool. I like that. The action scenes were over the top, of course. I'm playing a God of War game. But beyond that, though, like the gameplay, they just gotta just use my abilities more. Cool. Watch out for this. Use your quick time events. I mean, some of the when you bring down a troll, that was awesome. The gratuitous violence was over the top. Fun, of course. It's a God of War game. They know how to do that well. But at the end of the day, it's like, okay, cool. Next. Oh, I died. Let me just load right back up. Here we are.
And so like when I think about the Last of Us, I think about the other like either zombie or post-apocalyptic games I played. So gameplay wise, like so I guess we have to compare it to games of that time. And
2000. When did it come out?
well, that time
2013. We need to fact check it. We'll find. Someone will find it. That's fine.
But for like if we're talking like strictly zombie game, then for me like the best one at that point would have been the Resident Evil 1 remake.
Okay.
And I don't think like I didn't
Yeah, my favorite Dirk. Put them okay.
I didn't enjoy the game. I didn't enjoy the gameplay of that better than the Resident Evil 1 remake. But I guess Resident Evil was survival horror, but like with zombies or infected or whatever. The shooting wasn't great. The stealth elements weren't great.
On what? On
in The Last of Us.
Yeah, I just felt like it was just bothered from other
They
borrowed from other. I'm sorry.
Yeah, they have like the cover shooting from like Gears. They have like a crafting system that makes some stuff. There's like stealth takedowns.
One hit kills if we were patient enough, to just throw a brick and distract them and run. Yeah. I agree.
I mean, it told an adult story. Like, okay, the story is okay.
Mm-hmm.
But like, it didn't like on the narrative axis. It didn't stick with me until the end of the game. It didn't stick with me. Like, I beat the game.
Yeah.
And like, okay,
cool.
That was
Next.
Done.
Something
else. Gameplay, like I wasn't. It reminded me of other things that I played, but like,
I think I could agree with that. The little I did play with it, did feel like it was just borrowing. There it is. From other games. Like, okay. But that's kind of what you see now being added, like with the whole open world thing, crafting tables too. I was like, yeah, right, crafting. They all have it, some way, some form.
Yeah, like
get resource, craft it.
Like
I think I'm just anti Sony first party games. I don't know, because I see it, I'm like, okay, cool.
So I gotta think, like, okay, what games have I played with a crafting system? So the Witcher games each have their own crafting thing, but like, so The Witcher is interesting. Like, essentially, like the way you play, like the way you play Geralt in the games, is essentially how like you play like a ranger in D&D, right? But and then like even so Witcher 1 had like good mechanics. Witcher 2 like kind of added to those, but like I don't think like the gameplay actually became good until the third one. Like I tried.
I never played. I mean, like I played Witcher 3. I hear that's like the one. If you're gonna play that one,
yeah.
That's the one to play.
It's
the one that always comes out on everything. And again, yeah.
But
I think I'm there with you. Where there's some games where I'm just like, I don't care, and a lot of them are, if they get any appraisal, it's because the story is really good. That's come first. Then to me, gameplay is king. How does it play?
Well, so if we're talking about story,
I'll read a book.
So like, I mean, the story. I guess the story may have been slightly better than like Resident Evil 1, but like I don't think it even compares to like Silent Hill 2. But Silent Hill 2 is arguably like one of the best horror games ever made. Like it's been like I
never played them. I heard a lot about them.
Well, so like
I mean, because they weren't there, but if I was gonna play a horror, it was just Resident Evil, and then I don't know. I guess Silent Hill just didn't appeal to me.
So like horror. Resident Evil, the zombie thing, Silent Hill. the first four games.
Okay.
As they're more like they're monsters. Well, so Silent Hill 1 and 2 are thematically different. So Silent Hill 1 is more like they're monsters and like a mysterious town. It's this cult aesthetic thing, like this old horror trope. Silent Hill 2 is like psychological
Okay.
horror, where like the reason you kind of have to piece together given like what little information and clues that you're given throughout the game what's actually going on, and but so
Okay, but okay. Let me piggyback off of that, because when did Silent Hill 2 come out? Roughly, do you know?
it was my second PS2 game.
Okay, so PlayStation 2, so early 2000s, right?
I was in
I graduated 02. I'm an old man.
fifth and sixth grade. I was in 8th grade. Okay. When Silent Hill 2
Okay,
came
okay.
out.
So you're in.
I graduated high school in 07. So
Okay. So look, back then on those consoles, games were a lot different compared to what games are, right?
Well, so
I mean, if you had to find something, you had to find something either on your own or get on the internet and GameFAQs or have a friend to find it. Games now easily go to hand. Oh, I guess I should go talk to this person. Here's an objective. Here's a curse marker. Here, go here. So I mean, I could see why there's just even the aspect of it being a psychological horror. I mean, just the gameplay alone was way night and day difference compared to what it is now and where it was within.
So
Yeah,
no?
No?
There's a horror game that released now. Like it's kind.
What's it called?
I guess it's an indie. It would be kind of. It's called Tormented Souls. Its whole thing is like it's channeling the spirit of Resident Evil 1 essentially to a to almost to a fault. Like the dialogue is bad.
Take
Bad.
this, Jill. You're the master of unlocking. Thank you, Barry. And she kind of just. You know what I'm talking about?
It's claustrophobic, fixed camera angles and stuff, but it's good.
I remember that from Resident Evil. The live action cut. Do you remember that? I had live action. Jill Valentine. Barry Burton. Through the Colt revolver. Yeah.
Captain Wesker.
Captain
Where's
Wesker.
Chris?
Yeah.
You're almost turned into a Jill sandwich.
Oh my. Yes. It was so bad. It was good.
Jill, here's a lockpick.
Yes.
Figure you, the master of a lock.
Thank you, Barry. And then just. I think that was also one of the reasons why that game was good.
So
trying to
bad
get
it's
away from zombies. You had the tank controls. So you're kind of like,
okay.
So you're always like, fuck.
So I never knew that there was a problem with tank controls until I think John told me once about, you play with a bad like, I don't, for me, like, for Resident Evil 1, like, I gotta get love. I didn't register that, like, the controls were bad. I never had a problem with them.
I mean, I knew they were different because my friends, like, you turn like this and then you move forward by hitting up. I'm like, oh, okay. After a while, like, yeah, okay. It's not like it's counterintuitive. It's just different. That's it. But it adds to the whole element trying to get away.
Yeah, well, it adds. Well, in thinking about it in hindsight, it adds to like the tension.
Yeah, exactly.
But like, oh man, so I would never forget. What grade? Fourth grade. We had a teacher who also worked at Toys R Us.
Okay.
And so like, well, I had a list of games that I wanted for like Christmas or whatever, and then like she's like, "Yeah, I work there. Just have your mom give you the list and get you." And I had like Resident Evil on the list. She's like, "You sure you want to?" Like, yes,
Yes.
And
And you played it what, on the PS2?
PS1.
On the PS1? Okay.
Back in the day.
Okay, so you had a PS1. I didn't know you put it over to the PS2. Okay.
And like, so like, well, I guess it was Resident Evil 1 Director's Cut.
Yes, that's the one I got.
Yeah,
That's
first
one.
one.
The zombie like looking over his shoulder. Yeah.
And like, so been playing it since that, and like I never never had an issue with the game. Was, but
What do you think about Resident Evil 8?
okay,
So let's go for. We just talked about Resident Evil 1. Let's talk about Resident Evil 8, and then we'll fill in everything in the middle.
I have to go. I have to go back to it, but I think the beginning is like the worst part of the game.
I thought the beginning. Wait, the castle or the village part? Like
The
actually,
village part.
okay, actual village part is kind of But
Well, so-
when you get to the castle, that's where that freaking.
Like the jarring part for me is where like you're getting attacked, the werewolves and stuff, and like no matter they keep that second's time, they just keep coming each after thing, and like it was just taking it just took me out of like the. It didn't.
It turned to action instead of horror.
Yeah, like Resident Evil.
I like 7 a lot. When it comes to 7 or 8, 8 was fun, but 7 is still. I feel it's still just overall a better game when it comes to that genre and what they're aiming for. We're trying to hit.
So I think like for me, I really enjoyed 7. Like it was kind of a throwback to like war, traditional survival horror. And so like with 7,
In a lot of ways, it was because you're kind of back in that whole mansion feeling, like claustrophobic.
well, yeah, and then like the things were scary to a point for me. Like, so horror is my favorite genre.
I know you said you're a slacker.
But I have to kind of. So for me, the way I finish horror games is through essentially becoming desensitized. Right? I do like I get.
That's fine. You could be scared.
Scared and animated and
sometimes-
stuff, right?
Something's come out.
It's like the molded. They were really creepy. Right?
Which one?
The molded, the enemies in
yeah,
7
yeah.
coming out of the walls and stuff. I was
100%.
really creeped out about that until about like when you get to the second house, right after you fight the wife, you get the shotgun, and then like from that point on, like
I'm not scared of you anymore.
I've been decent. Like the shotgun's super powerful.
Yeah, I have faith. Yeah.
And it like, have you ever played Dead Space?
No. I heard good things about it. Aren't they like the team making this guys are working on Callisto Effect or something like that?
Yes, and Dead Space is getting a remake as well. So
Nice.
Dead Space is kind of freaky too. Definitely, but you know who David Cronenberg is? Have you seen The Fly with Jeff Goldblum?
A long time ago. I know Cronenberg, but Rick and Morty.
Rick and Morty,
Yeah.
yeah. Basically Cronenberg school of monster design. But then you get the gun that has the chainsaw blade, like the Ripper.
Super gore.
Not scary anymore.
You know, that's how I felt when have you seen Nope?
Yes.
Okay, so I don't know if you know this about me, but I am deathly afraid of gray skin aliens. Like,
I didn't know that.
deathly afraid. Like, I don't know. It's I get some sort of primordial fear, and I shut down. So when I saw that first part when he's in the stable, he turns off the light and then flicks it back on. Then they start. Oh no! No, I mean, Mikkel was next to me. She saw my skin just turn into goose pimples, and then the second he. Spoilers, guys. Second, he punches them and finds out it's the kids, and it was just a joke, a prank. Like the whole fear went away. I just felt silly, and it was like, and I was basically a big kaiju monster / Jaws. And then like I didn't make the movie worse for me, but that fear that I had, I was like, freaking out and stuff. Like it was completely gone. It just became like, oh, okay, cool, a giant monster movie. I like that. So yeah,
So that's usually me for most horror games, and like either like it becomes except for Silent Hill 2, but that's
okay.
That's different. That's but either like like it's some form of desensitization. Either you get like an OP weapon that makes them not a threat anymore, or like you just get used to
That makes sense. Yeah. No, yeah.
I don't know. For me, what bothered me a lot in Resident Evil 4 Resident Evil 5.
Okay, so let me jump in real quick. I never played. I played up to Resident Evil 3. I think maybe some Code Veronica, and then I didn't play again till 7. But I know 4 is held to be one of like really really good game. That's what I hear. But that's where it's kind of where Capcom starts deviating from the whole survival horror into survival action, kind of becomes more action based.
4 essentially changes the genre.
Exactly.
To like action.
And that's why like I was happy to go back to 7 because it's kind of a callback to how the series started. Although yes, you are in first person view. Okay, fine. It's a different perspective. I try it out, but it is going back to what put Resident Evil on the map. That whole claustrophobic survival horror kind of look. Yeah, when I saw other ones, I'm like, oh, okay, action game.
What creeped me out like 4 and 5 is like sometimes like you get a headshot or whatever, and then like these tentacle things come out of the head. That was creepy the first couple of times. Then like, okay, I'm fine.
After a while you see it, yeah.
But there's so throughout the game, like you hit crates and stuff and get ammo and all that. Like, oh, great. Then at one point, like you destroy a crate and there's a snake. You know, like this snake's not even a real enemy. Like back you get poisoned and it goes away. But like, well snakes are like one of my. Well, it's weird because like.
Definitely afraid of snakes.
Well, yes and no. Like. I guess the sense is that the thing that could kill me, like snakes and spiders. But I've held snakes and spiders several times. Okay. Yeah. But
I mean, don't get me wrong. If I see like a 13-foot python next to me,
yeah,
I'd be like, yeah, I don't want to be that.
But yeah, like for exposure, desensitization. I guess like that was like for most of the Resident Evil 1, 2, and 3, the spiders were like the scariest part for me.
Really?
And it like, but I guess even Resident Evil 1 and in the remake, it wasn't really a lot of because in the first one, like I killed the black tiger. It's a giant black spider without even realizing it because I had the grenade. I had the grenade
with acid rounds.
I knew the boss. Right, I walked in. Dead.
Light them up. Yeah, the only enemies I was like kind of scared of because I knew they could take some shots were the lickers and the hunters. Like I was like, oh crap, I don't want to see these guys. But it wasn't because like I was afraid of dying. It was just like, well, afraid of dying in the game, but like afraid like, oh great, I'm gonna have to use a lot of resources. I gotta walk around.
I really enjoyed the hunters and see Resident Evil 2. I didn't play
with the lickers,
like, at
the
launch.
Two-way mirror.
I played Resident Evil 3 before I played 2. Monster. 3 didn't have any lickers, but like lickers were never visually frightening to me.
They look weird, like your brain's on the outside.
Yeah, and then hunters I've always enjoyed like the design aesthetic of the
like a little short squatty body and just.
So you know what made them not scary to me? They just to me they look like frogs.
Okay.
Like,
yeah.
Oh, okay, it's
that makes
frog
sense.
with claws. Okay.
Got it. You can just imagine it. The fear's gone. I guess, yeah, you break it down that way.
Oh, but so like in 7, the molded though they're black and like they look a little snake thing. But then that shotgun goes.
No more fear. That makes sense.
This is my boomstick.
Okay.
It's well, so Resident Evil like. Horror from like creature design and
yeah, human manipulation of creatures and guess. Oh, and again that's another show that Netflix got a hold of and they're like, crap. My wife's like, I like it. I'm like, you never played games.
With Silent Hill, it's like there's some creatures or whatever that are weird, but like there's something. So for instance. Silent Hill 3. Well, in every Silent Hill, there's like a nightmare version of the world that triggers at certain points. In Silent Hill 3, I think I forget. It's one of the later areas, but you walk into this one room, right? There's a giant mirror. It takes up the entire wall, and there's like a tub or something like on a pedestal thing, like a sink.
Okay.
And so nothing's in this room. Like you can miss this room entirely, and it doesn't affect anything. But you go to exit the room, the door's locked, right? And there's nothing to interact with and stuff. Okay. Then, like looking at the mirror there, you move, your reflection stops moving. And then like there's blood, there's blood and stuff coming out of the walls in the mirror, but not
in your room. It's a trip.
Like
I'm gonna Google that scene.
That was a really tense scene for me.
Okay, so when it comes to design of like creepy looking enemies, I'd say Bloodborne. When I go to that game, I'm like, oh,
Lovecraftian. Yes.
Not only that though, but Miyazaki gets inspiration from Kentaro.
Oh yeah.
The manga, not
Kentaro Miura, Berserk.
But was he also the illustrator? Well, I guess he's a writer.
Yes, he drew.
Okay. So he gets inspiration from that. So when I see some of that stuff, and I've seen Berserk, the Golden Egg arc.
Age.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Well, you've seen the Eclipse.
I've seen 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah.
So.
Oh yeah. So.
Oh yeah.
Funny story.
Funny story.
Well, I had read Berserk and stuff before I watched the original shit. When I was watching the Berserk movies on Blu-ray, I was at the third movie, right? Randomly, Jawat comes over. Right? He just stopped by. We were hanging out and watching. He sits and watch the thing with me, and then we get to the eclipse. Just like what?
I'm not making this up, bro. This is it. Yeah.
It's like, whoa, that was such a drastic shift.
Yeah. Well, I was like, wow, okay. So even ever since then, I knew. But so when Miyazaki getting inspiration from that artist and then incorporating into his game, and then I see that, I'm like, okay, that's pretty creepy. And it's an all game, not so much in Sekiro, which I give that kind of a knock to the game, because Sekiro, the combat was great, but nothing in that world made me feel like this is creepy. Maybe you'll see a giant ogre.
Right. But I think, like, for Sekiro, like, maybe the inspiration is more of, like, Japanese.
Oh, 100%. So, yeah. So it's more, I mean, you maybe see some Onis here and some headless ogres here. But for the most part, the aesthetic isn't as creepy as the other From Software games. And that's fine. It's not meant to be that. So, Elden Ring and Bloodborne, when I see some of those enemies, I'm just like, oh, that's creepy. And so those are enemies where I see, I'm just like, yeah.
There's so many hands in Elden Ring.
Hands and eyes and just creepiness, yeah.
I think the enemy that creeped me out the most in Elden Ring were the little hands, and then like the giant hands that run like when you go to the old Carrion Manor or whatever, and then like
that's the castle. Oh wait, no, you're on Elden Ring. Yeah.
A little hand.
Yeah.
Oh god, like
those are creepy. And then like in Dark Souls 3, they had the little hippo hands that grab you, the big old tanky looking ones. Yeah, hands are kind of creepy for sure. Yeah, those games, when I see their enemies, those freak me out. What else?
They did. So we saw Thymesia, right?
What do you think of it?
So
okay. Just tell me what you think about it. Give me your initial thoughts.
So
it's been on my radar for a while.
It reminds me of so during the PS2 era, right? You had like your big games like God of War and stuff like that, but you also had like your not so big games like God Hand and there's a really bad
kind of like under the radar, kind of sleeper hits.
Well, there's a really bad game I like on PS2 called EOE. This is terrible.
Yeah.
But like so the way I always thought about it in RPG perspectives, so you had like your Final Fantasy or whatever your Squaresoft game was coming out. And then you had this other little series called Wild Arms. Have you ever heard of Wild Arms?
No.
So for me, Wild Arms was like the RPG I'd play while I'm waiting for bigger RPGs to come out. And then even like doing everything in Wild Arms only took me about 24 to 30 hours. So
which is kind of short compared to most SquareSoft games.
So like Thymesia, definitely like it has like that Dark Souls inspiration
For
for her,
sure.
and
It's the buzzword we're all hearing now.
well,
Souls like Souls. Well,
the,
yeah, I
the
get it.
Lovecraft aesthetic is out there from the get go and stuff, but it's like I say it's like a B tier game. Like it has it has its own little nuances and stuff.
For
like,
sure.
Like I think they're only four stats that you can mess with, but like so. Whereas, like in the Souls games, you find like a lot of different weapons and stuff. You have like your standard weapon, and then you have plague weapons. Like you can get from enemies, hit them with an attack, and you have a temporary use of this weapon, like an ability. But also by defeating enemies with killing enemies that use certain weapons, they'll drop little shards, and like you spend the shards to like unlock that weapon. Have as it's essentially like a magic. It looks like a magic attack or whatever. It's that weapon that they have, and so aesthetically, it's a lot similar to like Bloodborne, I guess.
The way it looks.
Um,
Yeah, I saw it. It was on my radar, and I was like, "That's cool." But I remember playing Mortal Shell, and that one's very much, it very inspired of everything from FromSoft, and I played it. I enjoyed it. It was cool. But after that, it's kind of like that game's fine, but it's not FromSoft. I guess that's how. Yeah, you're right. It's one of the games like I play while I'm waiting for Elden Ring to come out or something like that, where it's like it's nice what it is, but at the end of the day, it's not what I love.
The BC is like a budget title. I think on sale right now on the PlayStation Store is like $24.
Yeah, it's on Steam. It came out recently.
Yeah, it's definitely like a budget. I don't think there's any voice acting.
But yeah, I mean,
Yeah. But like
it's expensive.
it's okay. Like
How do you when it comes to buying new games or putting games on your, I like to call it putting games on your radar, how do you go about that? Do you just go around like somewhere you listen to, like do you follow a certain YouTube or just hanging out with friends and you're like, oh, there's this game coming out? Or
so for me, RPGs are usually up there, but like
same here.
I'll look and see like what the play style. I know it's extremely niche, but I love turn based. For me, turn based and like systems,
Like turn-based RPGs.
Yes,
Like JRPGs.
Yeah. Well, JRPGs and not JRPG.
What about like SRPGs, like the strategic ones, like Triangle Strategy,
Well, see,
Final Fantasy Tactics,
so
XCOM.
I wouldn't call those those are like tactic RPGs.
Tactical RPGs.
Because like, when I think about strategy RPGs, I'm thinking about RTSs.
Okay, I don't play RTSs.
Okay, but like so
I know what the genre is,
So for me, like
And then there's CRPGs like Original Sin. What else? Baldur's Gate, where kind of like based off of D&D and stuff. That I don't. Those are okay. But I like JRPGs. Though.
So like I like JRPGs. I like turn-based tactics or not tactics is fine. There's one that's not. It is turn-based, but like you move around and stuff. But like it reminds me of a tactics called Valkyria Chronicles.
Yeah.
Like that one's
pretty good.
That one's fairly interesting. Yeah, like so yes, the first played the first and the fourth one. Those are the ones that released here. There's a spin-off one called like Valkyria Revolution or something. It's not like the other ones. It's different.
It was like it takes place in alternate history, World War II.
Alternate history, World War II thing.
Kinda, yeah.
But like, yes.
That's your jam.
Yeah.
So how do those games get on your radar?
Oh, so like for me, JRPG, right? So like, I mean, I watch like I watch like trailers and stuff. I'll go through. Sometimes I go through like game facts and like they have a thing about coming out and like what's
Uptiming,
coming
yeah.
up and stuff like that. Um, so there are a couple YouTubers that I watch that like just do updates like, oh, these are the JRPGs and stuff that are coming out this month and like that. I'll look and like I'm a little weird. Like something has to like catch something. There has to be something that like draws me to like the game and stuff like that for me to go out and buy it. To go out and buy it.
Is Final Fantasy 16 on on your radar?
Yeah,
Because it's Final Fantasy.
It's Final Fantasy.
If it didn't have Final Fantasy,
Um.
and it was called
Well, so also like the people who were making the game is like one of my favorite RPGs of all time. It's an
Mario RPG.
It's an Xbox 360 exclusive.
Which one?
It's called Lost Odyssey.
The one with Abe?
No, you're thinking about
Odyssey. Oddworld. Okay, yeah.
No, it's called Lost Odyssey. It's made by Miss Walker Studio. The guy who founded it worked on some of the earlier Final Fantasies. It was part of 3 games. He made Blue Dragon, Lost Odyssey, and The Last Remnant. I bought all 3 of them at that time. But the one that really stuck with me was Lost Odyssey. You familiar with Highlander?
There'll only be one?
Yes.
Eric Lambert?
Are you familiar with Highlander 2?
I'm not even familiar with the first one. I just knew there could only be one.
Okay, Highlander 2 is a terrible movie.
That's what I hear.
But Lost Odyssey is essentially like if you took the script for Highlander 2 and made it like good. But it's Highlander and not so like the main character and some of the other characters are immortals, right? Okay. And it's turn based, but I think you can have like 5 people in battle at one time. It's you select your attack, right, and there's a ring that comes out. It reminds me of another one of my favorite RPGs called Shadow Hearts, but we won't get into it. But they actually take like the story element of like certain characters being immortal and incorporate it into the battle system. So like so your human characters like they're like different classes and stuff, and they learn like abilities to their class. The immortal characters, they don't really learn skills, but they can learn skills from one of your human characters. If an immortal character dies in combat, they're dead for 3 turns and they get back up.
They get resurrected.
Yeah, and then like the actual battle system, like people do more damage in the front, and then in the back they don't do as much damage. For sure. But in order to damage the people in the back, I'm sorry. I like mechanics and systems.
That's fine.
So like the people that you have in front, like not only doing more damage, but they add like a defensive stat like wall. And in order to attack the people in the back, they have to get rid of the people in the front have to be knocked out. Then the people in the back can be attacked.
Yeah.
It's like and then like the story of the story of the game was fairly interesting. Plot wise, it reminds me a lot of Highlander 2, but there's also like separate stories called like 99 Dreams or whatever, because the main character is 1,000 years old, and so but amnesia, right? But going through, like, you encounter certain things that reawaken parts of his memory, and like then it'll play out like this story. The story from like his life that's related to the event. Oh, that's really cool. Like all of these stories could be like little short. They're like little short stories in their own right. Like the narrative and stuff. Narrative and mechanics.
Okay, that's a good. I mean, that's something to look out for. So when it comes to finding games, because you kind of you talked about you went on a tangent. I'm like,
so,
okay,
with fighting games.
Okay, so me, when I come to like looking for games, of course I'm always, since I do the podcast, I'm always looking at video game news. So that's a good way for me to oh, this game's coming out. Cool, I'm interested. I like it. Um, yeah, so that's how that's how I deal with it.
I don't know. I guess like because they usually show like fighting games like Evo and
For sure, which I'm a fan of. And what do you think about this year's Evo? Street Fighter. Did you watch it? It was insane.
I caught the top 8 of Street Fighter.
Ah, that was insane. So good.
Oh,
I was at the edge of my seat. I was popping off right them.
Top 8 of Guilty Gear and King of.
I didn't watch. Oh no, Guilty Gear was after Street Fighter, right?
Yeah, it was
yeah. I was.
That's
No,
I was
it was
tired.
It was 11 o'clock already on a Sunday. I was like,
man.
okay, I'm Street Fighter's it.
So for me, like, look for what Capcom's making. So I was a big fan of Mortal Kombat until like right after Mortal Kombat 4, I think. That's when oh god, you remember Mortal Kombat?
On Nintendo 64, Deadly Alliance?
Oh yeah.
Terrible.
So Deadly Alliance, was that 4
or 5?
Because
I think it was 4.
There's Deadly Alliance, Deception, like
I think Deadly Alliance was the last one I played. I think that's on Nintendo 64 too.
They went a little wonky with me there. I came back to Mortal Kombat with Armageddon. I actually really liked Armageddon. I played Frost.
Terrible. When did Frost first come out?
I don't remember. It was before Armageddon.
6 maybe? I don't know. We could start choosing like different fight styles and stuff.
And then I thought Mortal Kombat 9 was interesting. Like I played through the story mode. Thought it was really interesting, but like there wasn't really a character that like really gelled with me.
Mm-hmm.
Mortal Kombat 10, I played through the story mode. The character that I played didn't get unlocked until the end of the game. Like I played Shinnok in that game, but like I didn't put a lot of time into it, so I didn't I didn't get a lot of enjoyment playing it with other people. Mortal Kombat 11 though, like I tried the beta. I played Scarlet, then I ended up playing Scarlet throughout the entire game, and then I learned Scarlet, Frost, and Sindel. And like I really enjoyed 11.
But
I also really enjoyed Injustice 2, but I went through a Crisis character in Injustice 2 because I really liked Injustice 1. I played Raven. It was like my favorite DC character.
Yeah.
And then she wasn't in Injustice 2. Like, oh,
well,
I guess who do I play now? Played Supergirl. Like, oh, she was right.
You won a tournament.
Well, I got top 8. I played Supergirl, Black Canary, and then Firestar, which that's the last time I played Mortal
Starfire?
Starfire. Last time I played Injustice 2, I was over at me and John's friend house.
Mm-hmm.
Starfire had been out for a while. We were playing. I was just destroying
really
Starfire. That character is dumb.
I'll take your word for it. Yeah.
But
how it comes to picking a fighting game? How's that work out with you?
So,
because I'm like a fan
of
fighting games.
Arc
So every time I see one,
like I like fighting games in general.
I buy them all. That's my problem.
Yep.
But I mean,
I don't know. Like
I don't buy DLC anymore though. Especially, I don't know.
I understand. I understand.
It just felt like ever since Street Fighter 4. They're like, here's a costume pack for everybody. Cool. I like that because everybody gets a costume. Now it's like, here's Chun-Li, here's Chun-Li, Cammy.
I understand.
You know, but they're like individual price, and then here's character passes. And ever since then, it just feels like every fighting game is like, yep, we're doing character passes. Buy them. It's like, okay.
I like so.
I get it. It's a business. You gotta make money. But at the end of the day, it's just like, man, I don't want to buy these characters, but I still want to learn them. Can I just like practice with them on training or something?
I understand. Like, I like having all the characters.
Me too. Because when my friends come over and I want them to have options, even though I've just been playing strictly Nakali from forever, you know, I still want other characters. So in case the guys show up and they want to play somebody else, I want it available. But like, wow. I don't know. I just don't like how the practice is with fighting games. But at the same time, seeing how this looks like they're kind of pivoting to be free to play. I don't know how I feel about that either, but I'm not saying every game needs to become free to play. I'm not saying every game needs to be a fully priced game also. There are certain fighting games different should be different price for sure.
I think Capcom was sort of on the right track with the fight money, but like I think the fight money need to be fleshed out a little bit.
Dude, they throttled it like I don't know. Like, after season 2, they're like, you only get half of that. I'm like, oh come on, dude. But I remember on the PlayStation, I got the achievement for 1 million fight money. Now it's like, forget about it.
Every character is like 600,000.
But hey, if you have ads on, we'll give you 5 per fight.
Oh no,
ads.
I actually reached the cap on that multiple times.
Yeah,
It's
you
like,
reach a cap after a while. Yeah, and then they started having like Street Fighter sponsored. I was like, oh. That just Macaulay looks like a NASCAR car. It looks like a NASCAR car. It's just like little. I don't know. It's look. You're monetizing a full price game. It gets old quick.
I do. So with fighting games, I know. Is there a fighting game that I don't like? I don't know.
Look, Project L, Riot releasing Project L as free to play. That doesn't surprise anybody. If anybody knows what they've been doing, that's how they're going. That's what it's going to do. And then they're going to have the whole rotating cast. But it doesn't mean I want to see Street Fighter become that way.
Yeah.
And honestly, look, that game's gonna be big because it's gonna have all the crossover traffic from Valorant and League and all that, and Arcane, and then people complain like, "Oh, it's a fighting game. I'm not good."
Well, but like the pedigree they have and people working on the game is pretty good too. Though.
Yeah, I'm not gonna. I mean, just the fact that the Cannon Brothers on there and working on it and implementing, their netcode and stuff. That's great. I mean, I'm not saying it's gonna be a crap game. I just don't know the business model and how it's gonna work.
See, it's weird. Like, so I've never played. Well, I played League of Legends.
Like
once.
I dabbled in it. Yeah. Like, oh, this is cool.
But like, I did go hard in Legends of Runeterra.
That's the card one.
Yeah. I like card games.
That's fine.
But so here's the thing: that like in Legends of Runeterra, I have so much currency in it. I've never spent the dive. I have so much currency that I get. Like I took like a 2-year break. I just went back. I built like the top deck. Spent nothing.
Okay.
But they also took out my favorite game mode, which is also how I got like a lot of the stuff. So they had like a draft like mode.
Okay.
And so I'm like, that was awesome. But like,
like
if you make it to 7 wins, though, you get like a bunch of stuff.
And they nerfed that.
Well, so they went really hard on like the story mode or whatever. Like, I don't care about that. I want to.
You want to play cards?
I like the draft mode.
Yeah.
The draft mode's so fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, like if I wanted every card in the game, I could have it and have like still have a surplus of resources left over. So I'm guessing that's why they took out the draft mode. But I imagine like using that data, they found some way to fix like their in-game currency thing to how much they give out versus how much things cost.
I'm sure they have a bunch of algorithms that are working on it and developers and engineers looking at how much so they can optimize their financial gain.
Doing the Gwent beta for that's the Witcher card. It's a whole different game now than what it was. But during the Gwent beta, I made it to top 500 on both Xbox and PlayStation.
Really?
Without spending
a dime,
any money.
That's cool. Okay.
But also like the system in the early days could also be exploited with resources and how. But well, I tried going back to play Gwent, but like the game's like the rules and
a whole
stuff
different animal now.
Yeah, my deck doesn't even function the way that it does.
They changed the rules so much that
and they cut the support on the console, and like I missed a window to get your stuff.
Oh no,
like,
that sucks. Yeah. So yeah. So going back to the whole Project L free to play, like. I'm just glad it's not going to be on Steam and they're going to post, look at the, because if it was on Steam, they'd be like, look at the numbers, it's peaking at, like, yeah, we get it. I don't know, that people like to do that sometimes. This game's, look how much it has, like multiverses, they did that a lot, where like, look how many people are playing right now, smashing records. Okay, cool. Where is it at?
So
a month later.
For me, I've never really looked at the number of what usually decided what fighting game I played was what the people I hung out with were playing.
For sure.
And well, now it's different because I don't really hang out with anybody.
Yeah.
Hang out with anybody anymore. But for me, like, so Guilty Gear is definitely the fighting game I play the most.
Mm-hmm.
I want to play more King of Fighters, but like I'll log on and like if it goes too long without finding a match, and
I think they recently fixed that ever since Evo. I think they say
there's supposed to be like a big update coming really soon.
Okay.
Too. I wish I could be playing more Samurai Showdown, but soon.
Well, I mean, I agree with you there, having friends to play with, because I remember, Johnny being like, "Hey, BB Tag's coming out. Want to jump on it? There's a demo. Let's download it and play it." Great, everybody was playing it, so it had fun, And then same with like, oh, Marvel versus Capcom Infinite's around the corner. Want to play it? We're all had time, and I enjoyed it. I don't know. Some people talk crap about the game, but the people who like talk shit about that game are the people that never play it. I always find that weird.
I enjoy that.
I was like, it's a fun game, but no, this is like you barely played it. You don't know what you're talking about. You're probably bad at video games. So, I mean, I think if you boil it down, that's a fun game. I'm not saying it's a great game. It's not the best game. It's a fun game to play. I enjoyed it.
For me, I have to go back and train on DBFZ. So, there's a guy doing high school. Ran into him online on DBFZ. One time I was over at Jamon's house, and like I beat him. Like we played a bunch, and like I beat him a bunch. Then like he would ask me to like do like training sessions with him, right?
Sure.
And so like start training. Then like several of the fighting games came out. I stepped away for a long time, and now like I guess like he's gotten like really good at the game.
Nice.
And
you get whooped.
He's like, hey, come.
Let me guess. He has lab code 21.
I don't know. He's like, come. Like I've gone and played with him at instances. Like even the last time I played, it was like way higher ranked than me because I had stepped away from the game. But like our games were still like really
pretty
good.
Close.
And like he messaged me recently, hey, are you ducking me? The game want to play. Well, okay, I've been a little busy.
Yeah.
Knock the rust off.
Yeah, but so when it comes to fighting games, in my heart of hearts, I'm a Street Fighter fan, so I'm always gonna be gravitated towards that one. So, what are your thoughts on Street Fighter 6?
It looks interesting. Like Cammy's coming back. That's awesome. So for me, like I didn't notice this for a while, but like I guess I really like female.
There's nothing wrong with liking female characters.
Like I don't like.
I play strictly husbandos.
But before, like, I would gravitate to Shotos because like they're the easiest to play. But like, I don't know, like.
But not enough depth for you or something.
Like, well, now, actually, like putting in time to like explore other characters and stuff. It really clicked with me with like King of Fighters 15. Right? Because I wanted to play Charmy, she's fine, grappler.
Yeah.
But like I also wanted to play Blue Mary, and
Blue Mary's cool.
Blue Mary
I like her.
The charge move thing.
Yeah.
And like just learning like Blue Mary and the mechanics in that game, it opened me up to like playing characters that were not
usually your style.
Shotos, I guess, but like I guess Street Fighter 5 did that with Armika because like I was gonna play Ryu when we were playing like the beta and stuff, and then like we got a version with Armika and like oh man, this character, this is me.
Yeah, let's put him in the coin flip. Guess.
Well, guess like getting ready for Strive, I went back to actually sit and try to learn Rev 2. RAM.
How did that? It did not translate at all, did it?
Well, RAM is different, but
sure.
like I actually learned some things. Like, oh, this. Okay, I can do this.
Okay.
And so, like, yeah, I've been playing like not Shotos, like in Guilty Gear, play RAM and Biken.
So in Street Fighter 6, you're gonna go with Luke, Cammy.
The ninja chick looks interesting. Kimberly.
Jury looks cool.
I'm
not a fan of Jury, but I think she looks super cool. I was like, yeah.
Yeah. Also, like from the spoiler, the evil
That leaked
chick
list.
looks cool too.
Which evil shit?
I don't know. She has like these.
Oh, the one looks like female Fong. Female
yeah, I
Fang,
guess so.
kinda.
I guess.
She's kind of stretched out, and lanky and stuff. Take a break. We can wrap it up soon.
Okay.
Yeah?
Yeah.
We're good. I think it's a good starting
Well,
point.
I hope. Well, this is my first time doing a podcast. I hope some of what I said came out as tangible.
That'll be fine. If not, see, that's the beauty about podcasts, that even if it doesn't come out good, you get to do another one next week or whenever.
Okay.
So yeah, so hopefully we'll do this again soon, if you don't mind.
Yeah.
I hope you had a good time.
Have infinitesimal amount of time.
I appreciate
right
it. We
now.
talked about video games, movies, books, all sorts of media. Dirk, is there any way people could talk to you, find you? Anything? You do anything on the socials? You being on the socials?
So yeah, I have Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. I don't like. It's weird. Me and social media is kind of weird. I don't really like. I use it to communicate with people that I know. I don't really post a lot. Like sometimes I'll take a picture of something interesting. I'll post it on Facebook or.
And that's probably like the healthy approach to social. I see some people. I'm literally, there's some friends that I have a conversation and they're like this, and I'm trying to talk to them, but they're like this. I'm like, they know who they are. Anyways, Dirk, I'm gonna say thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
Had a blast. All right, guys. I love y'all. Have a good night. See ya. Peace out.
Alrighty. Thank you for having me.